All right.
Pay attention to the drone's shadow.
Yeah, we can hear audio.
I'll stop it right here. You see how close it is right there? I stopped it. It's super close, right? And then as it's going, it gets really far away. And I pause it again here in a second. It's going to be in the bottom right corner here. You'll see it. I do think that there it is right there. You see? It's super far away. That's crazy. That's got to be studio lighting, man. That can't be real. I do think that the other video I saw was misleading with the beeping. The beeping does seem to match up with where the dude was standing and everything. But you can't tell me that there isn't something wrong with these shadows. And the dude saying, "Oh, this proves it isn't green screen," as if he's like from the '80s and there's no newer way of making movies and making it seem like people are actually in places that they're not. I'm not here to say whether or not they went. I really don't care. All I'm looking at is the shadows. I think it's funny that people keep asking me like, well, where did they go then? Well, how did they do this? I don't know how they did any of it. As Witsit always says, falsification is independent of replacement. So just because we're pointing out Banjo here, I'm showing some of his screenshots. Just because we're pointing out that the shadows aren't matching up and the sun is too big and I don't just same way that Globers say like, oh well, they used all this fuel, so if they didn't go to the moon, then where did they go? I don't know where they went. I'm just telling you, like what they're showing us isn't matching up with reality. So accept it, don't accept it.
Is there actually 24 hours of the sun itself, or is it 24 hours of daylight?
So it's 24 hours daylight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't actually see the sun for 24 hours.
You do.
You do. Okay. I'll ask you real quick. Would I be able to use a drone around the camp or anything?
Drones are not allowed at the South Pole.
Okay.
You can use it at our Union Glacier camp, but not at the South Pole.
Okay, so at Union Glacier camp, you can use them. That's not a problem with the blue ice runway and all of that?
You can't use it at the runway. You can use it at the camp.
Okay, cool. So what I was kind of wanting to do
What was altered was the departure time, not the date.
Right. I'm glad you made that clear.
Because I thought dates. I mean, I assumed that meant they were leaving early before the thing, and I was like, wait a second, I thought you were going.
I did too.
If you look up in the archives, there was no storm, so that's another lie that Witsit told, that they had to leave early because of a storm, and a whole day early, but apparently it was a matter of hours. I heard Z say that Lady Blunt claimed that there was a midnight sun, but let's read what she actually said. She said, and so the midnight sun may be seen in the south. And she goes on to describe some sailors that played a deck of cards in the full sunlight at midnight. That wasn't necessarily proven, though. There was no images or, obviously they're not taking pictures back then with timestamps or anything. And this, she says, then of course the midnight sun might be seen. Testimony has now been given that it has been seen, and this testimony has been admitted in zetetic literature, thus proving, speaking generally, that zetetics are willing to learn and admit known facts. Whether we can explain these facts is another question, but as we have before intimated that whatever further facts we may find, which are proved to be real facts and not fancies, we shall admit, but while admitting them to be true, zetetics will never give up the primary fact that the surface of all still water is level. So it doesn't, to me, sound like she's 100% believing the eyewitnesses of the sailors. She might be the first anti-truther. Using words like might and may don't seem very definitive to me. Seems like she's more looking for, more hard evidence.
Saw the sunset northwest from where she was, and that was February 19, 2019. She was facing north. The sun was clearly setting on the northwest side of the ship, which was facing north.
Witsit tried making a big deal that they're so far apart from each other. They're 16 degrees away from each other. It's not far.
So he says it's 10 p.m. Now that's where our debunking of the TFE starts. You can see it says it's 10 p.m. Look at his shade behind him and Mount Rosman in the back. So we know he's facing north making this video because according to the coordinates that we have right here, according to the coordinates, you can see the compass. The red means north and white south. So you see where the camp is in the blue pin, and you see Mount Rosman in the back. So as he speaks, he's facing north with the mountain in the back. At this moment, when you see this picture, the sun is shining from the east, making this shade in front of the mountain towards the west. So we have another picture right here. You see again Mount Rosman in the back, the camp where he was filming, and the red, the compass there pointing north, the Mount Rosman south behind the camp. Another thing, this picture here that I downloaded from the official website. You can see here, if you go and see the details of the picture, it was taken November 27, 2016 at 3:33 p.m. A very weird time to take this picture, 3:33 p.m. But that's the time it shows right there. So now you compare Chico Matos, his shade, where he is claiming to be 10 p.m. and you see the time of the picture and the shade behind the Union Glacier Antarctica sign. You see the shade is completely the same, right? And he's claiming to be 10 p.m. Now let's compare here. If you look at this, the 24-hour sun time lapse, you see the sun there. You have to believe that 10 p.m. he took a picture in front of the mountain with the mountain illuminated, and in just 2 hours the sun went back behind the mountain. So we know this whole thing is doctored. The sun is
on the left is from Geo's, well, not Geo's skydiving, but from the video that he says is the only other video that we've been able to find of 24-hour sun footage from the south, and only some of it can we really even use because it does this like weird circle thing through most of it or whatever. But I wasn't even meaning to. I was just going back and forth with it, and I'm like, oh look, the sun is moving the opposite direction, and he said that it couldn't be done, and I'm accidentally debunking it just while looking at this. But you can see the sky itself does look like it's so much darker at the top. The sun's so much smaller. This is only maybe a couple weeks apart from each other. They were there around the same time at the same place. So. This is from Norway at 78 degrees north in June. The sun looks a little bit more yellow to me. It looks bigger. It doesn't go up and down as drastically, as like fast, I guess, as the other one in Antarctica. And the actual video itself is longer by like 23 seconds. Other time lapses of 24-hour sun are longer by about 40 to 50 seconds. If you look right here, look at how different that looks when it is starting to go a little bit further away with the darkness of the sky and the clouds. And to me, everything in this shot looks a lot more realistic. I thought that was interesting, but I was wrong about thinking in my other video like 2 weeks ago about Geo, saying that I thought that at the 80-degree mark that you would see the sun go further like some of the other videos I saw, but in this video it's clearly showing it looking like it's making a perfect circle. So I was wrong about that. I thought for sure they had to be over the North Pole or the South Pole exactly to see it make like, you know, see the sun not change in diameter. But in this video, it does look like it's pretty much the same size all the way around. So I will admit that I was wrong. Flat Earth Season 10, you know, enjoy. So I'm showing the people in this time lapse on the left versus the right, and the ones on the left are moving way faster. They're like specks. You can barely even see them. And from Antarctica, it seems like they're just moving a lot slower. I think You Think pointed this out, actually, and there's some clips from him in here. This weird shadow, there's an arrow pointing, and you can see there's some weird, like, imaginary stick shadow that's moving around. It's kind of unexplained. And this one, obviously, from You Think again, the shadows are opposite of each other, which wouldn't be happening. And if you look at this yellow or this orange truck, there's no shadow at the orange truck. These people's shadows, they're maybe 20 feet away from each other. And they're so drastic. It's just, it doesn't add up to me, in my opinion. But, yeah, especially that truck not having a shadow is really weird. But I'm sure they'll chop it up to, oh, it's just a 360 camera. Oh, you don't know how shadows work. And, yeah, blah, blah. But here, why did Witsit go 20 feet away when he had just gone to the right there and picked up snow? And also, he walked by a bunch of snowballs he could have picked up on the way to the other spot. So, yeah. And this guy's missing an arm. Where's his other arm? It's got a shadow, no arm. Super weird.
At 52 minutes and 6 seconds, it's just obvious that there is a right angle and a blue line that cuts all the way up and across. Okay, and I'll just bring it down so it's better in screen on my camera here. And it runs all the way across. All the way across. All the way across. And they must have blended it better down the other side there, but you can see it ends up right there. See it? Blue line running all the way across the screen. I don't know. I wonder how they're going to, how Dave Weiss is going to explain this one away. It comes all the way down here. See it going all the way down to here. That to me looks like the scene of.
We got Jaren over here drawing in the snow, claiming that footprints can't show up and people aren't going to be kicking any snow chunks around, but they can draw a huge giant S in the snow, which is hilarious because apparently they don't know north from south, according to this next video after this compass one. But the compass one is obviously upside down. The letters are backwards. Somebody in the comments tried saying that it wasn't. I'm like, dude, just look at it. The S is backwards, like everything's backwards. And in the video that he shows right after this, it's showing exactly what happens when you flip it over. And it sticks in whatever position. You can see him moving it, and it didn't move just there. Like, obviously, they're trying to pull one over on us. Because why else would they do this? It makes no sense. In my opinion, these people that just sit around, trying to argue definitions all day long are just time wasters, and we shouldn't let them win. They're trying to keep us from actually looking into topics and listening to interesting stuff because we're too busy debating about this nonsense that they're trying to claim is real. So I'm probably going to ease up on this topic a little bit because I'm over it. I've listened to enough of Witsit and all these fools, and I definitely see it as a time-wasting, like, J-Trig psyop. Yeah, it seems like they don't know which way north is. Union Glacier is in time zone 6, not time zone 3. So it's not it's not midnight, it's 9 p.m. And so they're lying here, and this is from that Dustin Nemos guy, so I'll link all the videos I'm using, maybe not the exact videos, but at least what channels I got them from. I just felt like I needed to do a bunch of videos in one to kind of show some of what I think the best arguments have been so far. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff also. But yeah, I guess I think I'm done for now. And we'll see if anything else comes out with the rest of this stuff. There's some predictions that Blob has made about the next psyop Witsit's going to run is on Big Pharma, doing some Big Pharma stuff. We'll see. Maybe he'll come out with a video talking more details about that kind of stuff. So this next was a video I put out, I don't know, I guess a couple weeks ago, noticing the clouds not moving, all the wind. He sits there for like 2 minutes talking about how windy and miserable it is, and those clouds just stay in the same spot. And then it's funny because he keeps saying that that the only way that he could be burning holes in this, well, first of all, he only can burn one side, which is weird. Then he's like, oh, I could only be doing this if it was the sun, like as if I guess he's not aware of 500 watt bulbs and high powered light bulbs and lasers that burn holes into. And he doesn't actually turn the camera around at any point and show that it's the sun doing this either. And the shadows going different ways. Sorry I can't pronounce your name, dude, but thank you, you're awesome. I have the comment right here. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Live from Antarctica at 9 p.m. when it was supposed to be midnight, and their geolocation just so happens to be scrubbed. And I'm sure there's gonna be more of this kind of stuff coming out. These people do this, have been doing this since Flat Earth started, pretty much. So it's not to say that, that the Earth isn't flat. It's just obviously there's a deliberate agenda behind. Jaren's apparently just now learning how to ride a bike. But look at it, it's like moving backwards. And then sometimes it moves forwards, and sometimes it's just still. But I was, I guess maybe he's like gliding across or something. Like it's icy, but I feel like I'd be seeing people slipping if it was that slippery and icy. It was like gliding across the tire, like right, actually right here. It looks like it's like, I just don't know how to explain it.
I did a whole stream with Owen Benjamin. You see my breath the entire stream. You just see my breath the whole stream. And the reason is because I was drinking hot tea. And so that honestly is why you're able to consistently see my breath, because my lungs and throat and mouth were constantly being introduced to liquid, and it was actually warm liquid. You could see my breath like the entire freaking live stream with Owen Benjamin. And people were like,
he was on for less than 10 minutes and doesn't show his breath half the time.
And I understand why someone maybe wouldn't just believe that because you need to see yourself. Well, come down here, man. It's like 35K. I wouldn't have spent that. Hopefully it's not cloudy. We got like 7 or 8 cameras that filmed it around the clock. But once I started leading up to the trip, I could tell, like, wait a minute. Like,
now they're thinking about everyone they spiral.
what's all that? What's all that right there?
Fuck, they have to just own that shit and just own it.
All right, I don't want cussing. Look at all this. What's all that breath, bro?
Where's all the breath when you were talking, bro?
Why would a truther be doing this? Why would have any pictures with any of them? I met one of the people that were there to go run a marathon while we were still in Punta Arenas, because many of them stayed in the same hotel that we did. And I actually have an entire interview with one of the guys telling him about Flat Earth. That Jonathan, the documentarian guy, actually recorded, and we were mic'd up. I tell him, like, I didn't just go take pictures with them. When we went to Antarctica, we get off the plane, and then they had brought in the marathon group, right, as they were bringing us back towards the camp, because they got on the plane that landed taking us. The marathon runners got on that plane and left, right? So they were there right before we got there. But I did meet some of them in the hotel. They were all in the same hotel. I talked to a few different marathon runners. So there's that. So I do have video evidence that I was, in fact, with the marathon runner in Antarctica, though. No, it's a complete lie.
So he just said he was in Antarctica when he met this person and interviewed them, but at first he said that he met him in Punta Arenas or whatever. So which was it? Does he not remember where he met the marathon runners? Because I thought they were getting on the airplane. They came to pick them up to take them back. So once again, stuff's not adding up.
I don't know. I haven't even watched it. Like, why I was out of breath? Maybe because I did hit a vape before that.
Lead the audience into faking my breath by hitting a vape and exhaling it on the camera. That isn't true at all. It's objectively not true. So it not being true means that you're slandering me. You then completely hand-wave dismiss the fact that there's another stream where I'm drinking a hot tea, right? And you can see my breath for the full 30-minute interview. The entire time. You never stop seeing my breath.
There's a little breath. What's up now? You have to take deeper breaths, and it sucks. It hurts your lungs. Okay.
What's up now?
All right, so now it's sorry that was long. Go ahead. The rest of it's all you, bro.
All good. Yeah, I'm just gonna play a couple videos. Yeah, is Witsit gonna jump on stage to talk to us after this? Share your screen.
Doubtful. And I accidentally left a part in. Sorry, Gio. I know that was over the line in the middle there. I forgot to edit that part out.
All right, so let's start with. I'm gonna start with this one. This is the time lapse of the 24-hour sun video. This one has a repeating lens flare at the beginning and a repeating cloud at the beginning that repeats at the end. So you can see it. I got it paused already where you can see it. So that, I forget if you can see my. All right. So that right there, that little lens flare, and this lens flare is going to be repeating at the end, and so is the cloud that's coming up. So that cloud that was right over there. You see that? You see? So this is a basically a 360 of the sun goes around in a 360, and then as soon as it gets to the point where it's going over the 360, it's doing a little bit over 24 hours, or allegedly 24 hours. For some reason they were lazy and they repeated they repeated a lot of the stuff they used at the beginning, but they used different clouds. So right here, you see you got the pretty quick. All right. Oh, my shit's moving around. Wow.
Well, for this video, Dave McKeegan, he took it from his Insta360 camera, and those have a kind of a dome.
Who's
glass
talking?
lens
Why are you talking? Who are you?
Yeah, we don't talk yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So sorry that video ended and it started playing another one. All right, so right there, right here, you have the same lens flare appear when it's right at the point of going all around in a circle, and now it's doing now they have 4 extra seconds of the sun, going a little farther, allegedly, which is the day after, but they use the same. So you're about to see the same cloud up here. For some reason and it's right at the same spot it was at the beginning, right? So 24 hours later, when the sun is in the same spot, you get the same lens flare and you get the same cloud at the top. There's a couple of different clouds also, but there's one cloud that repeats, and it's that one right there. And if you zoom, I might not be able to zoom in with that. I'm going to zoom into that in a second. So that I'm going to show that cloud later. I'm going to go into there's one more thing I wanted to show on YouTube. So this this was a recording of one of the footage before Witsit uploaded it. There was a seam in the video which was a lot more pronounced than it is now when after Witsit uploaded again. And this guy shows it. There's like a huge dark mark. They're probably going to say that that's a 360 seam, but the thing is that that's taking like a 45-degree angle change. And if it's just the 360 seam being the seam together, that would be a straight line all the way around, and it's not at all. Unfortunately, the video has been edited. Maybe that's why they were taking so long to upload Witsit's footage, because now it's very hard to find that line. But you can still find it.
You know what that line is, though, right?
Am I hearing elbow?
Yeah. You know what that line is, though, right? This is due to the camera being two cameras on a 3D.
Do you hear what I said? So
No,
I was already I literally responded to that already, and now you're gonna just.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear your response.
Yeah, okay. So it's not a straight line. If it was a 360 seam, it would be all the way around, it'd be a straight line. This is taking a 45-degree angle change. And I'm going to show where you can find it still in Witsit's footage. So
They usually use a box.
Dude, elbow, shut up.
Okay. Your shot.
All right. All right, here you go. So it's hard to see it because it's, oh my God. So I'm trying to, so right here, do you guys see this right here? That's the same line that guy was showing. And before Witsit uploaded his and they deleted the original, you could see it way better. And now it's way more dimmed. They like blended parts of it better. But it's still right there. Try to zoom in and out so you can see. So you can't really see it unless you zoom in. But it goes up and down right here. Then it turns this way. And there's this stuff is basically everywhere. So it's not just one line like you would have in a 360 footage, like, you know, because it's two lenses and they're smushing them together or whatever. But I'm gonna show a couple other places where.
I think Rusted Soul is asking to be unmuted or something.
Doesn't look like she's on the stage, so needs to request getting back on the stage.
Wait, who is Seafoam and why is he on the stage?
I invited Rusted back up just now.
Thank you.
Does
Sorry,
Witsit gonna come on stage?
I think my phone like disconnected me from
Witsit
here
said
somehow. Sorry.
Witsit said he's coming up later after you guys done your presentation.
Okay, can I
Right.
screen share really quick? Because when you were talking about the seam, I actually went and found a screenshot of where the seam is in that, and you guys can tell me what you think of it really quick. Or I'll just
Yeah.
post it in this. I'll post it in the live stream. Oh wait, I can't because I don't think I have permissions. Maybe I'll or share the screen. Hold on.
No, yeah,
Alright,
you
you
should
guys-
be able to post. Yeah, you can post it in. Yeah, you have the.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's not. If it's a 360 seam, it's going to be straight all the way around, and it takes a 45-degree turn. I'm about to show. I'll show it in. I have a couple more slides, and then I'll show that basically that line with some contrast, so that you can actually see it.
Okay, so I just posted. Sorry, just if you guys want to look at the live stream text really quick, that's where the seam is, and I circled where the camera is. So the seam is, and the seam goes up where the camera's at and over to the left, and that's not where the seam is here. So sorry, keep going.
Whoops, I stopped streaming by accident. All right, can I just get through the rest of this? So here's another thing that was weird, right? Witsit said this is not the same mountain as that. That's kind of weird. I don't. So Jaren said you don't see the camp in this picture because it's too far, but the mountain looks like it's actually closer. It's basically as close as this one, right? They're the same size, so it can't be that much farther that you wouldn't see the entire Union Glacier camp. So the idea is that they're taking this footage from different times of the year when, you know, there was no camp there, because this is clearly the same camp, right? So Witsit said that this isn't the same mountain, but right, you got that rock right there, which is that rock. You got that little rock right there, which is that one. You know, it's the same as these two. This is the same mountain. Like, I don't know why Witsit said. It's a lot of lies. It's weird. Here is a Amazon Studio, and Amazon Studio and, like, you know, the Sphere in Las Vegas, they have all these ways of putting together lots of a dome with like lots of panels. I'm not saying this is how they did it. I'm just saying this is possible how they did the background. And as you can see here, you can't really see any of the seams in this Amazon Studio background. But I turned up the contrast, and eventually you do see the seams. So I'm going to play that real quick. All right, you see that? Now you can see all the seams, all these lines. These are all the different like panels that are like not perfectly curved. So you start to see them as you turn the contrast up. So this is a screenshot of the background of the 24-hour footage. And I believe this is the one with the 45-degree angle line. And when you turn up the oh no, sorry, this is a different one. So this is another spot I found in the 24-hour footage in the background where I don't know if this is two panels or this is just they were very lazy and they copy and pasted, you know, parts of the sky to fill it in. This is basically some stuff I do like in Paint. You know, when I'm lazy, I crop different areas just to fill in stuff, and I don't blend it good. This is a clear this is a clear line where there's a complete this is not the same. This is not what was next to here. This is not matching up at all. This sky with this one, with this cloud, and then also so you have a straight line up and down, and then you have a line this way. And the same thing goes in between this line and that one. You have two different parts of the sky of different whatever they use to fill up the sky. So that's a little area I found where there's some strange. So it's this is either different panels, and this is an actual edge, which is a little bit bent, you know, to create the entire set, or they're doing this digitally and they're not, and they're, you know, like mixing different layers of stuff to make up the sky. And then here, so here you can see I turned up the contrast of that video I was talking about. So even in the new upload that Witsit posted, where they basically got the seam to be almost like almost invisible, but you can still find it. I still can screenshot it and turn up the contrast, and you can still find it. But the original, it was like it was way more visible. So that might have been what they were doing when they were taking so long to upload the stuff that Witsit had. But they're gonna like Elbow was saying, like it's a 360 camera, so it's got two lenses and it's split in half, and it would have a line all around. Okay, well then this line would be straight, right? It wouldn't be stopping here and then taking a 45-degree turn, and it goes this way, and then it does all kinds of other. There's lines all over the sky, and you can even see here these clouds. They end when they get to the line, right? Because it's a layer. This is different than that. Here I found a repeating cloud or a repeating like sky layer. This edge right here and this right here seems to be exactly the same thing as that right there. So they're duplicating parts of the sky to maybe AI is filling up the sky with like some I don't know how these kinds of things work anymore. But you can tell this is not like real sky, right? The real sky doesn't have this kind of like split where part of the sky doesn't match up with the other part. And then I just noticed this also when I turned up the contrast, that there's a line up here that appears when you turn up the contrast, and that side doesn't match up with that side. That side doesn't match up with that side. This is not something that should be happening when you're just taking raw footage. If it's a 360 camera, you might have one line all around the whole thing, but you're not going to have this over here. You know what I mean? It's just a mess. The footage is a joke. Here's what I was saying. This is what I was saying about before, the repeating lens flare and the repeating cloud side by side. So that lens flare is right there. This is at the same part of the sky where it's done apparently a full circle around, and it's at the same part now. And now for some reason, right when it's at the same part, the same cloud appears. Now, what's interesting about this cloud? So this guy has the video a little bit off. It's if he matched it up correctly, they would disappear at the same time. But I think he's off like by a couple frames or whatever. But so if you look at the bottom of the cloud, it starts to disappear behind like another layer that is like there's a layer here which is making the cloud disappear into a line instead of like, so it's basically as it goes into this layer, you see the line of the layer appear, and it's like a completely perfect flat line underneath it. So not only is it a repeating cloud, but it's also going behind a layer, and it's disappearing like, because it's behind a layer. So it's flattening it out. But yeah, that's the same cloud. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Would you say that I dunk on you guys routinely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Breathe air. You don't need a vape.
Do another one.
Can you do the Hawk 201?
Can Fire. Can you let Wish up?
No, why?
He's been holding his hand up the whole time.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Wait, Witsit's here. How about you guys have your debate with Witsit instead of letting a retard fucking waste our time?
Oh shit. What's up? What's it?
Was this the end of the whole
Was it
shebang
wrecking?
here?
Yep,
I
that's
mean,
the
there's
end.
some more points, but
I mean, there's more, but
If I could quickly give one point.
More, but you
go ahead.
You left it out.
Yeah, so this is my point. I was not part of this presentation making. But with the other well-known psyop, the Trump shooting, fundamentally, like it's about whether or not the question of whether or not something could be faked, as opposed to whether or not it is. And you see, I posted in livestream text 1, like a 3D mesh overlay on the face. So I wouldn't necessarily say if it was fake that it would be some kind of studio setup, but it would just be the question about whether or not something could be done in live real time where you have this done, you have all of this stuff sort of being done by computers where you guys could actually be on site, but then having computer generated imagery doing the rest, doing all of that stuff. Yeah, that would be the point.
A big part of questioning if something could be faked is who we have involved, and like determining if these people are trustworthy in the first place. And the footage is coming from Will Duffy, the Glober, who said that the Bible doesn't say it's wrong to deceive people. So we know that basically everybody on the trip is very suspect, except Witsit, according to the flat earthers that subscribe to him.
Says the anonymous guy.
All right.
You guys got any more damning evidence, or is this all of it? Do you guys want me to go through? I started taking notes, but it's kind of hard to tune in, to be honest. Let's go through some of the lies. Or you guys got something else, or
No,
you want to go
we're
through your
here.
lies?
Yeah, let's go through it.
Nice. Okay. Big home run here. The time lapses are not the same. She showed 2 different time lapses, and one of them was faster. Does anyone have any ideas how that can happen?
I do.
Let's hear it.
One is more sped up than the other.
Yeah, so time lapses are photos, and you you determine a certain amount of time between each picture. So if you take pictures more frequently, it's going to look slower than a time lapse that takes them less frequently. There isn't a universal speed of time lapses.
No,
How
but when
did
you
that make the
compare,
cut?
but when you compare how slowly the people are moving in Antarctica versus how fast they're moving in the longer time lapses, and it's a 24-hour time lapse of the sun, and you see the difference side by side, it's pretty obvious. But you know, it's okay. I know you're not going to see it. You're going to defend your thing, so it's cool.
As
Just
someone who spent a
totally
long
avoided
time,
the refutation.
sorry, Witsit, as someone who spent a lot of time analyzing that footage and used to think that it could have been fake, it is not fake. And that presentation, especially where it was talking about the graphical defects, I'd love to know if that was 4K footage. And even if it was 4K footage, this is called I believe it's called a artifacting. It happens when you zoom up, everything looks pixelated. So I don't know what the person was trying to do, but they have zero background in image editing.
Yeah, there was zero pixelation. It had nothing to do with that. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You have no background in this, clearly.
Was it?
Your
So
lack
you're
of
saying I
information
was showing
shows.
pixelation?
Why you
You
gotta
don't
interrupt
know
her?
him. How do you know he
She's saying I
doesn't
have
have
no
a background?
background. She's asking for my credentials. I'm asking her if I showed any
No,
pixelation.
she was trying to make a point, but you interrupted her.
She said that he
So
has no.
QT.
She doesn't know him. How can
So
she even
QT.
claim that he doesn't have a background when she
No
doesn't
one
know
knows
him?
you got. You're all anonymous.
Okay,
But
so
she was
I have
trying
my
to make
face
a point.
on my
does
video.
have a
I have my
background.
face on my channel, so that
Why are
doesn't
you
matter.
guys so scared of what she's gonna say?
Because I'm going
No,
to
she
completely
started off
destroy
with
his argument.
BS.
I have a
Yeah, you
background
started
in
off.
image
You started
editing.
off with
I
bullshit.
understand.
She
Well, I
said
just
you
yeah, just
clearly don't have a background. I do, and you both interrupted her. That's what happened.
So, well, I might be very much on the fence with the FE business. The 24-hour sun in Antarctica video is authentic. It is real. There are issues with it. No, 150% it is not fake.
Oh, okay. Okay, why are we here? It's settled. She knows what she's talking about. So,
Okay.
but
Well, anyway,
wait,
we're gonna go. We're gonna
I
go
didn't
through the
show
list
any
of things here.
situation. So.
Debunked.
Look, if people were gonna not, I just sat here and listened to you guys pretend that you knew things you didn't, and call me a liar. I'm here, very patiently waited. Okay, I will respond to them, but you aren't gonna bully me where I don't get to speak and all this stuff. That's definitely not gonna occur. So I'm happy to address your guys' concerns. Okay,
I have a
the
question.
time lapse
Can
argument
you guys
was
address the
really,
question?
really dumb. Okay, address
I have a
that one.
question.
Well, okay.
She said these are just artifacts. Is a repeating cloud an artifact, Verity? Is that
So clouds
something normal?
naturally, so clouds, if you go outside, I don't know if you touch grass much, but clouds actually do not change in certain conditions the same way that you're saying that they would. So you're expecting these clouds to change quite significantly. Why would they?
It wasn't just a normal cloud. It looked like a freaking meteor or something. Like, didn't that look like a weird cloud to you? Almost like the
It's
beginning
the
of a
exact
chemtrail.
same cloud at the exact same point in the sky as it was the last time.
yeah, that looks
24
to
hours
me like an
later.
effect of the lens, but
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're
No, no, no.
talking
It
about
wasn't a
those
lens
small,
because
those small
it
effects, those are
moves.
lens
It's
flares.
moving. If it
hey
was a
guys,
lens flare,
we got to go
Yeah,
one
it
at a
would.
time. Hold on, if we're gonna have a good conversation, though, we got to not have over talking. Also, I do think witsit should be given priority to be able to respond to these things as well,
He
because
should.
obviously a lot of these things were directly in terms of him actually being there. So
but
I
as
just
far
want
as
to
it
mention
being
that.
a lens flare, it would be moving with the camera that's turning. If it was a lens flare, the cloud is going the opposite way. It's not a lens flare.
It moves as the camera moves. And that's what
It's a
happens.
cloud, bro.
Oh, well, Bill, that is basically the theme of this presentation is just baseless assertions and appeals to incredulity, right? So that's of course not sufficient. But anyway, one of the arguments was, oh, there's no footprints, but Jaren can draw in the snow. Like that was some home run or something. There are footprints. All the footage shows footprints. You can zoom in on the high definition footage and see the footprints. Well, what is this, a month later, and people are claiming there are no footprints, but there are footprints. And you don't
A
see the
month later,
footprints
we
as
still haven't
much.
seen your footage.
Nice deflection. That's what
Can you
happens
just
when
let
you
him
can't
speak?
rebut the points. That's all we're going to get, by the way, is a bunch of deflection. So you claim there were no footprints. That isn't true. All the footage shows footprints, but because a lot of it is very compacted, the footprints aren't that deep because footprints are when you press into the snow or ice.
Who even made an argument
So
about footprints? Who made an argument about footprints? Is
I just
Verity
quoted what Rusted said.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
bring
there
up
are no
I didn't bring up the
footprints.
footprints. I did make a joke about, oh, he can draw in this, like, because people were saying that it was too compacted to be able to see your footprints. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess it wasn't so compacted to draw in it. And what's up with the compass? Like the upside down compass? Did you catch that? What are your thoughts on that?
Time out. Those are totally
That was right
different
after
things.
that. No, it
Time
was
out. If
right
you're
in the
gonna
same
actually
time of the video.
time out, if you're gonna actually try to dig into the compacted snow, that's not the same as just walking across it. Just admit your
Okay.
point's terrible, and we'll move to the next
Okay,
one.
fine. That point was terrible. I'll give you that. That point is terrible. Can
Just
we move
So
on?
is
The
the time
compass,
lapse point. Okay, go ahead.
the upside down compass. What are your thoughts on that?
I tuned out. What's the point with the compass?
The compass was upside down, the clear compass that right after that part that I made that you just brought up was him showing a compass, like, and moving, and the compass thing wasn't moving, and then it was, you could see the letters were upside down, were backwards, so it was upside down, and somebody showed, like, the next clip was somebody showing that same compass how it moves, and then when you flip it upside down, it like freezes the little needle, and it doesn't work when it's upside down.
What is the
You haven't
point?
seen that?
What do you? No, what
He
is your
doesn't have one.
conclusion here? Do you even have like a point?
Are you
No, he
serious? You don't
doesn't.
think that it's suspect that somebody's trying to show proof of a compass and look, this is the way that this is south. I swear, this is this, and then showing a compass upside down not working, and you don't think that like, are you serious? You guys will
Okay,
point that out left and right in like
you're
Glober arguments,
you're
but for some reason it's okay for Jaren to not know how to use a compass, and you're gonna make
okay.
excuses for him.
Well, I didn't make any excuses. I asked you what your point was. You just started emotionally ranting. So your point was it's suspect. Okay, whatever. I showed many times, like 4 or 5 compasses I used, all corroborating each other. I guess we have to completely remove all the other videos of the compasses to then claim something about how Jaren apparently accidentally had one upside down, and
Because he
that's
claims
suspect.
they claim that they were facing a certain way, but when you know what, it doesn't even matter. If you can't
Busted.
see it, obviously you're not gonna see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there
just
we go.
want
That
to.
no
Why
true
in the world
Scotsman. No
do
true
you think
Scotsman.
TFE was
I just want to say,
Why is
oh,
this chick
did someone mute
talking?
her? Yeah, yeah, no. By the way, just so you guys know, just so the audience knows, Verity literally admitted to me in my server that she was a disinfo agent. So she literally
in the
admitted that she
past?
literally, in the past, only in the past.
Yeah, why are you trying to attack my character?
I'm not
Well,
attacking. I'm
Well,
just
but
saying
you and all
that's
the
really
you
all
you
they
and
admitted
all the
that.
have, if
Glovers.
we're gonna
No, no,
be
no, no. You
Come
honest.
on.
admitted that. That's not an attack. I'm just saying what you
No,
said
it
to
is.
us. You were a
Well,
disinfo
it's not
agent.
really
Let's just
relevant. Not
let's just
relevant
stick
because
with
Oh, when
Witsit.
the
Let's
disinfo
okay.
It's
agent backs
not.
you up, it's not relevant to point it out. Nice.
Yeah.
But
And
Let's
all
dude,
the
let's
you
Glovers that have
guys,
been
this was
trolling us for
embarrassing
years.
that you prepared for this. You came here and this was your home run. It was a bunch of baseless assertions,
okay, let's get down to
incoherent
the assertions.
rambling.
What's the
We have
next
more
one you're gonna
arguments.
Okay,
what's
we're
the
gonna
next
go
one you're
through them.
gonna
We're gonna
debunk?
go. Then
Okay, let's go.
one thing you said in your video was that I say I talked to the marathon runner in Punta Arenas and interviewed him, but then I say I interviewed him in Antarctica. Which one is it? Things just aren't adding up. Lots of lies. That you literally just made that up. I never said that I interviewed a marathon runner in Antarctica. It's literally you just made it up. I said
No,
I interviewed.
you said they
Yeah,
got on the plane. They got on the plane in Antarctica and were they in Punta Arenas or were they in Antarctica?
okay, wait.
Well, let's hear his
Wait.
side. Let's hear his full
Okay,
side because I
okay.
remember parts of this too. When you were actually, yeah, but when it was
Yeah.
happening and you were coming in here and updating us and stuff.
So in the video that you just played, you say, I claimed to have interviewed a marathon runner in Punta Arenas, but then I turned around and claimed that I interviewed one in Antarctica and that I'm just contradicting myself. Which one is it? Just so many lies. I never said that I interviewed any marathon runner in Antarctica. You just made that up. What I said was they stayed at the same hotel as us. They went there before we did. But since they were there at the same time, I actually did an interview with one of the guys, Jonathan, the documentarian, documented it, and I told him all about flat Earth. It was an interview, basically a conversation, and I told him all about flat Earth. I talked to a few of the marathon runners at the hotel in Punta Arenas. Then they went there. We then flew to Punta Arenas, and the same plane that took us there later took them back to Punta Arenas. We didn't even see them, though, because they load you up separately. But the
You
point
just
here
said
was
you
that
flew
in
to
your
Punta Arenas
video,
from
Yeah, you
Punta
meant
Arenas.
Union Glacier. You flew to Union Glacier. You mean?
yeah. Well, see, and like what I'm saying, for
Well, you
you
said
laughed
Punta
like that was
Arenas
this
twice.
huge
That's all.
win, though. Yeah, but if I misspoke, that wasn't some huge damning win.
So did
Like
you misspeak and that's why I'm wondering, was that a misspeaking when you said that all of them got in the airplane to fly back on your airplane? Because how could you have interviewed somebody in Punta Arenas if they were flying back on the plane that you flew to Antarctica in? Do you
you
understand
see,
my
you
Okay,
don't seem to
then never mind.
understand. I'll try and help you out here. All of us were in Punta Arenas at the hotel, including the marathon runners. There was a whole bunch of marathon runners there before anyone went to Punta or to Union Glacier. I was asked to talk to one of the marathon runners. They were about to leave to go to Antarctica. I said, okay, sure. No, I was hesitant. I'm gonna have final edit, whatever. I sit down. I talk to the guy for like 20 minutes about flat Earth. It's recorded. Jonathan has it. Then the marathon runners went to Antarctica. Later, we go to Antarctica, and the same plane that took us ended up taking them back to Punta Arenas. In your video, and this elucidates the caliber of research we're dealing with here. You claimed that I said I interviewed a marathon runner in Punta Arenas, and then later claimed I interviewed one in Antarctica.
No, I
Which
didn't
one
say that
is
you
it?
interviewed one. I did not say you interviewed one. I say, and then you said that you went to Antarctica and that they got on the plane that you were on going to Antarctica back to Punta Arenas. So so there must have been multiple plane trips. Okay, we can move on.
No, that's
It's
not
not
what
like
you
a huge
said.
point.
That's not what you
Okay,
said. No, see, this is what I'm
whatever,
saying.
Jay.
It's not, you just want to pretend that if you if you string together a lot of just
Okay.
blatantly false claims in your video that, oh, that one was a joke. Okay, sure, that one was terrible. Oh, well, that's
It
not one of
wasn't a
the
joke.
big
I'm
points.
trying to move on because it's not like a huge point. You're trying to spend all this time on a point that to me is like, okay, you misspoke. Maybe you misspoke
No,
in
I
the video.
didn't
Maybe there
misspeak.
was 2 airplanes. Maybe there's an explanation. That's why I'm asking these questions. I'm just asking for
Well, no,
explanations.
you're
That's all.
clearly still
So
confused.
can you
You
tell
didn't
me?
ask a question. No, we're not. No, you didn't ask
No, I
questions. You
just have
made an
one question.
assertion that I
The
lied.
footage?
You made
Okay,
an
but the footage
assertion
from
that I
Jan?
lied. There
Okay.
was only one plane. I know we're gonna cover it. It should only take a couple seconds if you pay attention. There's one giant plane. It's Icelandic Airlines. They have a deal with them. Okay. When they take a group to Antarctica and everyone gets off the plane stays there until they then load the plane back up with a group that was already in Antarctica and will now be leaving. They don't just fly to Antarctica, drop people off, then take off empty. Doesn't make any sense. It's very
Okay.
expensive.
So there
Okay,
must
so
have been
you
more than
understand
one
that
plane
when
for you
you
to be
claim,
able.
why would
So
there
there must
have
have
to
been
be
more than.
more than one plane?
Because there was already runners in Punta Arenas because you interviewed them, and then you went to Antarctica, and the people got on the plane to go back. I don't know why we're spending so much time on this. It's not that big of a deal. There was clearly more
No,
than one
this is a
plane.
perfect
It's not a
example
big
how
deal.
you just
It's not.
aren't
It's not a perfect
particularly
example.
competent. No,
It's a perfect example of how you want to waste time on something after I just said, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was 2 planes. Maybe there's an explanation, but you want to just sit on this
no,
topic
there
for
doesn't
some
need to
reason
be
and talk
two
about definitions
planes.
or something next.
No one's talking about definitions. We're talking about
I
how
said next.
you
Next,
have
you're gonna want to
such
define what
poor
a plane is or
character and
something.
integrity that you throw around accusations of lying when it actually
Okay.
comes down to you lying. So you made the claim
It's not
that I
lying, it's me
lied.
misunderstanding that there was obviously 2 planes. That's what I'm
Why
thinking
would
that
there
you're
need to be
saying.
2 planes?
Because how do you not understand what I'm saying right now? I don't
I
understand
got
why
a
we have to keep
comment.
going in
I
circles.
Yeah,
need
but
to.
if you
Yeah.
did, but to be fair, if you misunderstood, that's one thing. But if you misunderstood and we're saying he's lying and it's based on a misunderstanding, wouldn't you agree that's not fair to call him a liar for that? If it was based on.
Okay, then I'm not fair. I don't know what to say. If you listen to the footage yourself, if you just listen to it, I literally just played his words back to you. And he said that he interviewed somebody in Punta Arenas. Then he went to Antarctica and the runners there got on the plane to leave Antarctica on his
How
plane.
do you
So
what is so
so there must have
confusing
been a
about this,
plane.
Busted?
There must have been a plane that went and brought some of the people over there first before for him to have been able to interview
There
somebody in
you
Punta
go.
Arenas.
There's a
Yes,
single
yes, no, that's a
plane.
good
They
point.
take the runners from Punta Arenas the day before we went, or 2 days,
So
whatever it
okay,
was.
so it was.
Listen
That's all I was
carefully and
asking.
stop interrupting so much. Then they were
You just
in there.
answered it.
Listen, they were in Antarctica. They ran a marathon. Then the plane came back, picked us up. When we went to Antarctica, they were already there because they had been taken to Antarctica a day or 2 before that. Then they got taken back to Punta. Not 2 planes. No one claimed they talked to marathon runners in both places. No one's lying.
I didn't
This
say
is the
both
way
places.
every single one of your arguments and claims in that video is. Every single one of them is
Okay.
just like this. Okay, let's move to another one. You
Witsit,
claim
before you move on, I just want to make a statement because I am planning on running the 2025 Antarctic Ice Marathon. I looked at it, I thought it was a lot of fun. I have the schedule and price pulled up, and I just want just for a second, everybody just think about my journey and think about like what these runners did. So I'm gonna race on
Go
December
JT.
13th. Thanks.
You're
Hold on just
going.
a yeah, I'm gonna go. Hold on just a second. So I'm going to race on December 13th. And in the information on the website that I dropped, it says the latest that I can arrive in Punta Arenas is December 9th. And then there's a pre-departure briefing on the 10th. And then I guess I chill in Punta Arenas all day on the 11th. And then we fly to Union Glacier on the 12th. And then we race on the 13th and we leave on the 14th. So what Witsit experienced was the TFE trip had him arriving in Punta Arenas to like basically brief and prep and get ready. And the runners they crossed paths in Punta Arenas for 1 day or 2 days. It just depends on when Witsit got there. But they left a day before him, raced, and then they flew in, and that's how they talked to him in both places. I hope that helped. And the links dropped if
But
you
this
want to
Just to
look
wasn't
at the
clarify, no, I
even,
schedule.
didn't even. We
either of
didn't
our
talk. I didn't
arguments.
talk to any marathon runners in
Yeah, but this
Antarctica.
wasn't
I
even an
talked
argument.
to. It literally
I
was
never.
her in the
No, it
freaking
wasn't.
video she
It
played.
was
She
not.
claimed
It was not. I did
this
not
is the
say that you
problem, right?
interviewed
Because you guys have
somebody
no
in
problem just
Antarctica. Go back and
lying.
listen. Dude, I go
Okay,
back and listen. All I did was play a clip of you and then said, why is this story not matching up to me? There, obviously, you just explained it. There was another airplane or something I didn't know about. Okay, move on.
no. What you
Where's Jaren's
actually
footage?
said was
When's
that
Jaren
it
gonna
was
drop the
evidence it was
non-fisheye
fake.
footage?
It was evidence it was faked because I'm lying because I claimed I talked to them in both places. Okay, now
Okay,
the
how many times are you gonna go over this, dude?
What
Do you want like a
you wanna
written?
address one of my
Q
points?
just claimed that it had no one made the argument. So I had to
Who
address his
really had the
ridiculous
argument
nonsense
for
assertion.
that?
Now let's go to another claim you made. Okay, you
Pick
claimed
one of
that
mine. Pick one of
you
mine. I dare
claimed
you.
calm
I
down,
dare you to
dude.
pick
Oh
one of
yeah,
mine.
I'm so
I
scared of
dare you.
yours. Oh my
Hold
gosh.
up,
You're
dude.
not picking any of mine.
We
It's
gotta go
weird.
one at a
This
time.
you,
But
you guys
can
have
I,
to like interrupt me and try to make it a shit show. That's the only way you guys can hope to squirm out of here with some ostensible win.
Well, they
all
can't
right,
win by
can
the
I
Well,
just
looks.
say
we'll
from the
see
whole
about that.
last thing, just so we can put it, okay, I just wanted to say that from what I remember, just in general from the whole thing, is exactly what Witsit said is what I remember. Because when you were in Punta Arenas, you were on here, you were coming in here like at least like every 12 hours or whatever it was, you were popping in, like on average or whatever it was. So you were coming in. And yeah, I remember you saying you talked to those guys and interviewed and all of that. And then that was going to be my question. Which day did they fly out? Yeah. So if they went like a few days earlier than you guys, and then you came, and then you guys did also leave a day early, so then that's why their departure. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, they do that flight every day, right? And is it just one flight a day, or is
Well,
there?
it just depends on not necessarily every day, right? It just depends on what group booked and when they're going or whatever. Like the marathon runners, it's a little bit cheaper because they're just going there running a marathon and then coming back. We booked something called the experience or whatever, and we changed it based on what we wanted to do, and we were there for 3 days. So it's
Same
not like this real
idea.
rigid thing. But you brought up another good point, right? That we left a day earlier. One of the other evidences that we are lying and something was faked in Rusted video is that we
Well, what do you
claimed
know?
that
It's not my argument.
stop interrupting me, Q up. The fact that you got a presentation doesn't mean that you now have juice over me.
This
Okay,
is
Yeah,
you
dude,
always
don't
about
slandered
interrupt.
me.
We don't.
me,
I don't
but
want to. We don't
you're
want to
not
mute
addressing
people, but you
anyone.
can't. You have to let them finish, dude. You can have your time. Don't do that. Go ahead. What's it?
Okay, and just because Roll Rusted was first, I took some notes. So this is a thing I keep on hearing, right? It comes from Sav. Sav keeps saying this, and Rusted just repeated it. That we claimed that there was bad weather and we had to leave a day early, but turns out it was just a matter of hours earlier. Now, Rusted repeated that. Apparently, it was just a matter of hours. No, it was an entire day earlier. It was the 17th instead of the 18th. It was originally the 18th. We left a day earlier. So Sav just baselessly lies and claims that that wasn't true, and then you just repeat it. That's how this whole thing has been going. By the way, you're all baselessly asserting things that are not true.
I mean,
We
it's not
left a day.
baselessly. The
Okay, what's the
first thing
evidence?
that I looked up when I heard you say that we had to leave a day early is I looked up to see if there was a storm, and there wasn't. So, I mean, you can go ahead and claim that they told you there was a storm and there just must have not been a storm, but just must have not been a storm. But when you hear enough lies from somebody, you start to question all the things that they say, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, but everything
Rusted.
you claim's a lie has been debunked, and then it was just a joke, or let's move on to the other good one that's never actually good. So I
Mine's
didn't
way
lie
more
about anything.
good than
Stop
you.
interrupting me, man. You claimed that we didn't leave a day earlier, that actually it was just same day, just a matter of hours. This is what the guy named Sovereign Citizen Sav on YouTube keeps just basically saying. You played a clip from him saying that, and then just
Yeah.
repeated it. That's not
Okay.
evidence. That's just
Where's
ridiculously
where's your
poor
evidence? Where's your
research. That's
terabyte
just
you've been downloading for a month?
you're deflecting. Okay,
I'm not
so that
deflecting. Show me
you
proof.
are literally
Show
deflecting.
me proof, dude. I will believe you if you just be a man of your word and download all of the stuff that you said that you were downloading for the past month. And same thing with Jaren.
Okay,
Dude,
where's the
talking
one
about being a
footage?
man
The
of my
one
word,
didn't you
and
say
you
that
lie
Jaren didn't you
habitually.
say that Jaren had the non-fisheye footage, right? The one camera that wasn't fisheye, that wasn't 360? Where is it?
It's Jaren.
Where
Okay,
is it? Is
now
he now
this is.
Glover, so now he's not going to release his footage or what?
Did I say anything that you just said? No, I said ask
You
Jaren.
did the last time we spoke when I asked you about your footage, and you claimed that I said, "Is it your footage?" And you said, "Yeah, it's my footage." I said, "No, it's Duffy's footage," and you admitted that it was Duffy's footage. And then I said, "Well, where's your
Oh,
footage?" And
admitted
you
it
said
like I lied about it. Oh, you admitted
you
it. No, I never lied
you
about
did.
it.
You did. The first thing I said is, "Hey, when are you dropping your footage?" "Oh, I already dropped it." I said, "Oh, okay. No, that's Duffy's footage." And then you were like, "Oh, yeah, okay, it was
No,
Duffy's
I never
footage,
said.
but I didn't."
That
Yeah,
didn't
you okay?
happen.
Go listen.
See,
Okay,
this
well,
is
what
what's
about you?
wrong with
Said
people like you,
Jaren
Rusted.
had
You're a
footage.
habitual liar. You're a
Okay,
pathological liar.
everybody has
You,
listened to this video on
hey,
on my
this
channel,
is what
so
I
it's
like.
there
If I
for anybody
calmly
to
sit
listen
here
to.
and let you say your thing and then go to maturely respond like normal people, you can't let me do it. Okay, that's the problem. So then I have to interrupt you back just to be able to speak. You claimed that I didn't actually leave a day earlier, that I lied about that, and it was just a matter of hours. Complete and total lie. That is not what happened. Okay, and I was even jumping in Discord and updating everyone, occasionally sharing my camera. There were streams done when we got back. It's all documented. That is just a lie. Also, we can pull the telemetry from the GoPro that takes us back to Punta Arenas on the 17th. He
Wait, did you get the
baselessly lied.
telemetry?
Yes, but it has my home
Where
address
is
on
it?
there. Something that psychopaths like yourself would probably love, I'm sure. But
You
I'm not.
think I'd
Listen,
come visit you?
no, I think that you would absolutely love to dox it, though. So can you let me finish?
No, I
Can
actually
you let me
blacked
finish?
out your
Let me
stuff. Did you
finish,
see
man. Let me
the stuff I
finish, man.
posted? I blacked
Let me
out.
just
I did
finish. Let
not
me
put your
finish. Let me
address
finish.
out
Let
there.
me finish. Let me finish. You're claiming
Wait,
that we
why is she a
lied.
psychopath?
You
Didn't you
let me.
all
I
also
don't
like
know why she
discount like
is. Maybe
24-hour footage?
trauma. I don't know. So she
I'm
asked
cool with
me.
being a psycho. Whatever. Let's just
Dude,
move on. Let him
guys,
talk.
can I like, dude? You
Can I
I
are
was
keep
sticking up for
spreading
monologuing?
you.
the claim. You're spreading the claim that we didn't actually leave a day earlier. We just left the same day, and it was a
You
matter of
keep
hours difference.
repeating.
Because you keep interrupting it. Okay, so that isn't true. We left a day earlier. They said there's a storm coming. They said that when there are lower altitude clouds, they do not fly because they need a lot of visibility. It isn't like flying somewhere else where you can just heavily rely on radar. You actually have to be able to literally see the whole way down when you're going to land on the ice in Antarctica. When there are lower clouds, they do not fly. And it is up to the pilot. He checks the weather and then he contacts them and says whether or not he's comfortable coming in. And they said he's never actually left and not landed. So as long as he gets off the ground, then we're safe. They asked us if we wanted to leave a day earlier or we'd have to stay for up to 5 days longer. We unanimously agreed, let's get out of here right now. Okay, we don't want to stay through Christmas and 5 days longer. That sucks. Now, you said I just lied about there being a storm. I didn't lie about anything. Now, they told us there was a storm, and guess what? There started being a lot of wind, and we actually have footage of, you can see the mountains in the distance where all the
Where's the
snow is being
footage?
blown off of it. Well, a lot of it, you guys asked for footage, and then I say, wait, have you looked at all the footage that was dropped and all the different telegrams and all the different stuff from the GoPros? And you're like, oh,
I
well, no, I
did
haven't actually looked
actually.
at it.
I did.
Oh, so
After you
you
told me
saw the
that, I
footage with
went
all
and
the
looked.
wind. So you
No,
saw the
I
footage with
looked.
all the wind, with the person paragliding and with the snow coming off the mountains. You saw that then,
I
right?
saw you asking for money for telemetry data. That's what I thought.
Oh, deflected
Where's the
again. You see,
telemetry
every
data?
every single
It's not
time,
deflecting.
every single time that you get pointed out to be
I
wrong
saw
or
pictures.
lying,
I saw
you
pictures of an
deflect
airplane.
away to
You
something
told
else,
me.
right?
You
You
told me to
just
go
said
look at.
that
Yo,
you
is
looked
it
at
her
all the
turn to
footage.
talk yet? What the fuck?
Well, you just said you
You
looked at all the footage,
you.
and then I pointed out, oh, well, the footage you're claiming doesn't exist is in the footage you claim you looked at, and I started to describe it, and then you deflected telemetry data. So there
I
was
think
a
that was the
storm.
biggest thing that I pulled out of your Telegram was the fact that you raised all this money for telemetry data that you still haven't released. So I'm still wondering, where's Jaren's footage of the 24-hour sun without a 360 camera fisheye bullshit? Where is that exist, or should we just not expect to see that
It
because he's a
does exist.
Glober now?
It does exist. As far as I know, I was there. I watched it work. I watched him check on it. We can continually check to make sure that it was still working, and it was working. Yeah, he has a camera that followed the sun around in a circle. I don't know why. I didn't know if he has released it or hasn't released it or what's going on with it. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him that much lately.
What about
But
yours?
your claim Your claim was another lie. So admit that you baselessly made up that we lied about leaving a day early and there was no storm.
No.
You just made it up.
Go look up the archives. Anybody in here listening can go look up the archives of the weather and see that there was no storm. So I don't know, whatever. Maybe you didn't leave early, but I need proof of that, and you can't prove it until you download all of your terabyte of information that you've been saying. So how about you prove it, and then I'll concede to your point.
Why do you keep saying the terabyte thing? Do you not know? See, you are such a
said
good
that you were
researcher
downloading a
that you
terabyte.
can't keep up with basic stuff. What's the terabyte, Rusted? What's the terabyte?
You said it. Didn't you say that
Yeah,
you're
what is the
downloading a whole
terabyte
terabyte
of?
of information?
Yeah, what
I
is
don't
it?
know. You
Okay.
say I'm downloading a terabyte of footage right now, and it's so frustrating because it's not working, and I had to get Riggs to come like hack my computer and edit all this shit
Never
or
said
whatever is
that.
happening.
That's another lie.
Okay,
You're a
I know. I'm
habitual
joking.
pathological
Okay, that
liar.
was a joke, bro. Calm down. That was a joke. But seriously though, do you not admit that over the past month you've been saying that you're having issues downloading a terabyte of footage? Is what you said. I don't know
I
what it
will
is of. I
happily
haven't seen
say
it.
what you seem incapable of doing basic research and figuring out after I've said it 1,000 times. There was a 1.45 terabyte file with all of the footage that is now out. That was just the one high
Where
definition
is it?
360. Please, why are you
That was
pretending
it?
that you want to know an answer
Duffy's
that has been
footage?
explained 50 times,
Okay,
but then you
you
interrupt
guys.
it every time?
Sorry, I don't know if Gio's still here moderating, but you guys, it's getting to be a little bit much. Okay, so what we're at is that Rusted is demanding this terabyte of information that she says she doesn't know what's on it to justify you leaving a day early, and we don't seem to be coming to an agreement. So is there another point we want to work on, or do we want to clarify something on that and move on? Because it just seems to be becoming like name calling and things like that, and I just don't think that's super productive if we're going to stay with the facts.
Yeah, it's a
If
whiny.
it's possible.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay, what was that, you guys? Stop provoking and all of this kind of stuff. It's just. Can we get on
Bro,
back to the
can
topic,
Witsit address
please?
one of my
Is it
arguments? Like one of them?
possible that I
I'm
can ask a
I'm
question?
so bored. I'm about to leave, bro. Did you Witsit? Do you want to address
Oh
anything I
man,
said?
talk about bored,
wanna
dude.
listen
Your
to me?
Okay, you
presentation
guys,
was just
you
like
up, you up, and Witsit. Okay, you guys.
Bro,
Witsit's
bless
not here. No,
bias
no,
bear,
no.
mute me. I don't want to listen to this anymore, dude. He's not even debating me.
Okay, cue up.
Like, do it. I don't care.
No.
Mute me.
You guys did
Why
a
am I here?
presentation,
He's not
right?
talking to me.
Then you are free to leave the room. Why do you keep interrupting?
I'm asking him if he wants to say debate one of my arguments.
yeah, sure. Queue up. Rusted was
Oh,
here,
first, right?
why
So
don't you
there
let
was a
him go?
yes.
presentation.
Okay. No.
Let him
Listen.
go once, and then
Okay.
you can come back to me after him. He clearly
Well,
wants to
he's
go. So
left
just let him
because I
go.
muted him because he kept interrupting me. Because I thought how it was going was you guys presented and Witsit was going to address the points, and then
Wait,
other
who's
questions get
this?
asked, right?
What?
But
Where
every
did
time I
Q
try,
up go?
every time I try to go through the list and address he left because he got muted. Every time I
Why
try to
was he
go through the
muted?
point, because did you guess why, Noah? Do you have any idea why he would have got muted right then?
Was he mute? Was he interrupting you?
He was interrupting Redford Bear trying to moderate. So look, dude, this is what's so annoying. I know everything you guys are saying is wrong, right? Because I was actually there. I still come here, take time out of my day to listen to the whole thing, baseless accusations of me being a liar and all this stuff, and then I try to go through your list, and every time I go to address a specific point, you incessantly interrupt me and deflect to something else. And this is the problem. So you're now going to show integrity, and now you're going to take your video down, right? Now you're going to make another video and be like, okay, where I claimed they didn't actually leave a day early, I made that up, no evidence. When I claimed that there was no storm, he clarified that it's actually they're referencing lower clouds, lower altitude. There is video publicly available that shows there was tons of wind that day, and I'm going to take that down and stop lying about it. Whenever I claim that he said he talked to people in both locations and that he lied, I'm going to take that down. I'm going to stop lying about it. Because that's what someone with integrity would do. Every single one of your claims have been wrong. Oh, they can't see footprints, but you can see that you drew in the snow. Oh, that was just a joke. Okay, cool. Then you're going to stop posting videos claiming that proves that we fake something, right?
It's just
See,
a
this is
weak
the problem.
point.
Okay, so can we get? Yeah, are we? Sorry, I understand. But can we get to the? Is there another thing that needs to be specifically addressed? Like, I get we're
Yeah, let's
wrapping it
talk
up.
about here's the other point. Here's the point. Whenever I reference the Owen Benjamin, because every one of your points are just wrong. When we talk about the Owen Benjamin thing, and I say, dude, you can see my breath like the whole freaking stream because I'm drinking hot tea. You say it's only like 10 minutes, and you can't see it literally the whole time. That was your rebuttal. Instead of addressing that, oh yeah, absolutely, you can clearly see his breath all throughout that stream, and he is drinking hot
Not
tea. It makes
throughout
sense.
it. That was my point. It wasn't throughout the stream. The whole first like 5 minutes that you were talking, you couldn't see it, and then you sped up to the very end where apparently then you could start seeing it. You probably had a vape in your beard, like what you said. I don't fucking know. All I know is that you claimed that you had the breath the whole time, and I showed how, look, he's talking, no breath, no breath, and you even had a black scarf on, so you would have been able to see the breath coming out. Just like when the breath did start coming out, you could see it against the black scarf really easily. But when you were talking, there was nothing. So I don't know what happened. I can't tell you why, but it's not matching up with what you're saying. So
Okay,
I have
so
a
this is a
question for
perfect
you, Soul,
example.
if
Wait, let
that's
me please
okay.
respond. Let me give. This is a perfect example of how insane this is. She hasn't even watched the stream. She hasn't even
I did watch the
watched
whole
it.
thing. I
Oh,
watched it
then
several
then then
times.
you're intentionally lying because
I'm not.
you
I
can
showed
see
the
my
clip.
breath. First, you can see my breath, not just where I sped up to the very end. That's not true at all. You can see my breath throughout most of the stream, and you said you can't see it when I'm talking. Yes, you can. Every time I
No, you can't.
laugh, and yes, dude. This. So you're just hoping that everyone just won't go look at it?
No, I'm hoping everybody will go look at it because clearly nobody did. Because every time I bring it up to people and I go, "Did you go watch the Owen stream?" Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, here, check out this clip. He's talking, no breath is coming out. I literally showed it to everybody right here. So I don't know why you're trying to say that it didn't
Dude,
happen when it's
there
from your
are
stream that I did it.
there are easily over a dozen times in that stream that when I'm talking, you see my breath. Easily over a dozen
Okay,
times.
okay,
Factually.
we're just
Wait,
gonna
wait.
agree to disagree. Let's
There's
move on.
no agreeing to
What's the
disagree.
next
You're
point?
lying.
No, I'm okay. Anybody can go watch it and see for themselves. But let's move on. What's the next thing you
That's what
want
I'm
to say?
saying.
I'm not
This is
trying to
why I
sit
don't
here all
pretend
night
because now you're just gonna
repeating.
gaslight. You're gonna just
No, I just
Okay.
don't want
this
to
is
be here all
Okay.
night talking about the
Okay,
same
you
things.
guys.
yeah, but
Okay.
that's why you've obsessively done it for weeks, dude.
Yeah, may I? I live in a really cold climate. And I don't think anybody really cares what I have to say, but I literally I've been really paying attention to this a lot more lately. I mean, I'm outside all the time, right? Okay. It was like minus 15 degrees Celsius today, minus 25 probably with the wind chill. It was really cold. Okay. I've had other days this past week where it's been colder or the same, and I can't see my breath at all. Today, I went out, could see my breath like crazy. And when I was drinking a coffee, holy smokes, I could get my breath to probably double what it was. And then I would almost disappear and the whole thing would continue. And then I went out probably 4 hours later and I couldn't see my breath at all. So I don't know. It's interesting. You can definitely be skeptical about these things, but I'm not sure where you live, Rusted, and I don't know if a lot of people
Negative
experience cold.
15 here right now. So I live in the cold and I do understand how
No,
cold weather
negative
works.
15
My point,
Celsius or Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Okay, so minus
So
15 Fahrenheit. It's minus 20, or sorry, what you said it was minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 26 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you do know cold. So then maybe you just have different humidity levels than I do. I'm just
my
giving my
point,
testimony of where I am,
yes,
right? And
I
it's
under
not consistent where I am and my
I
breath.
understand. And I'll agree with you. It's not consistent here either. But my point in that was not to go, oh, look, he's got a vape in his beard like he claimed in it or whatever. It was to point out that he was saying all over the place, go watch the stream. My breath is on it the whole time. Go watch it. And then from his own stream, when he shows it, you don't see it. I'm like, dude, and he doesn't even, then he skips to the very end where I guess maybe he did take a drink of tea or whatever. And all of a sudden he's got breath. So my only point it was that that's contradictory from what he literally had just said in his own stream, but we don't have to go over it over and over. Like
Yeah,
we can
and
move on.
No, no,
Can
you're
I
just
finally
doubling
ask my
down, even though
question?
you're
I
I've
wrong.
been
actually
waiting.
remember seeing his breath quite a bit because I was following this, right? And I was pretty active listening in Discord too. So I mean, go and rewatch it and see if I agree with you, if it's not consistent or what you're saying. But I remember it like
I could send you the clip. It's like a 2-second clip. I can
no,
post
no,
it
no.
in the live
I
stream
thought we
chat.
were gonna watch. I thought you meant you were gonna watch the whole interview again, not just a
I did
clip.
watch.
I thought that was
No.
no. But I thought that's what I was going to do. Not you're not going to
Oh,
send me a 2 second clip
yeah,
because
yeah,
what does a 2 second clip do when we're talking about the whole
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a
and
video?
I
10
drink
minute,
tea throughout
Right?
the
10 minute.
entire
So
stream. I
can
drink tea
I
throughout the
finally ask
entire
my question?
stream, and you can
Beard
see
vape.
my breath every time I drink the stream. The beard vape is funny because someone made that as a joke to troll people like you guys. Like,
It's
Yeah, I
real.
know. It's
and
funny. I laugh. That's why I brought it up. I
but
can have a
you're
sense of humor too.
saying it as if it's like somehow viable or something.
Totally
No,
real.
It
Okay,
was.
hey,
Actually, you were baiting Rusted when you said that. It's not really a joke. Like, I don't know. Maybe we should read the room. Maybe your sense of humor is different. It was lost on the room. So maybe that's not the time and place for it. Just
And that's
says.
why I brought up the whole sound thing in the beginning, not because I was attacking Austin or anything, because I respect Austin because he helped me out with my, research and flat Earth and all that stuff. I just thought it was really, funny. That's all.
I want
Yeah,
to
but I just
make
want to
a.
point
I
out
have
one
some
last time. I'm just going to
questions.
say this thing one last time, okay? In the Owen Benjamin stream, I started to feel sick. I made some hot tea. I drank a full thing of tea. I made a fresh thing of tea before I went outside. I put up a card table, put up a chair wherever I wanted to. It was like, screw these guys. What are they going to do? It's Antarctica. Then I did a stream with Owen Benjamin. I started drinking the tea throughout it. Typically, when he would go to talk, I would take a drink and stuff. And I do that early on in the stream and all throughout the stream. And you see my breath all throughout the stream, including when I'm just talking or laughing or whatever. So to claim that you don't really see my breath in that stream or it's just at the end is just not true. So I encourage everyone, just go. Owen Benjamin, I'll drop
Yeah,
the link.
go do it.
Please
Yeah,
just go. And then that'll really put everything into perspective with what we're doing with here.
It really will. I
I have some
totally agree.
points.
Yes,
Just a
flip flop
second.
speak.
Verity's been trying to get in for a while. Her mic's a little low. I want to see what she had to say. She had a question.
Yes, I have a question for Rusted. Hi, Rusted.
Can
Hey,
I just
so
go?
Rusted,
All right, whatever.
everyone can hear me now, right? Everything's coming clear?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are
Yeah.
a bit low, but yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, I don't know why my sounds. Anyway, meta. Rusted. So, are you of the opinion that this was done in a 360-degree studio? Yes or no?
It's possible. I'm not here
Oh, is it
to
possible?
say
No, no, you're gonna answer the question. This isn't like,
falsification is independent of replacement. I'm sitting
yeah,
here
no,
looking at the
you're
footage,
gonna
telling
answer the
you what I think is
no,
false,
no.
and I'm not here to talk about my opinion, dude, because I don't have proof
Oh,
for it.
oh,
I can't sit here and
you
back
don't
it
want to
up.
defend.
So
You don't want to
you're
defend
not
what you
gonna
just
try
said.
to strong arm me into saying something
See, you
and
don't know how to
explaining
actually
something
debate
because that's
because you
not
don't
what we're
let someone
talking about.
finish your point. You
There's a
talk
whole
over
bunch of
them
other
like a
things
Hey,
that
bulldozer
can you
and
guys
Witsit
mute
Okay,
Verity?
you
stupid.
guys,
So
it's
you're
just
gonna let me
audio
finish
chaos.
what I'm saying.
Just mute
well,
Verity.
let me
Yeah.
finish.
Bro,
Like she asked
it
me a
was
question. She
I
asked me
was
a
gonna
question.
say it
I'm
was
just
supposed to
answering.
be QOP Rusted Soul and Blob versus Witsit.
Yeah.
QOP's now gone because I'm nothing against Bias Bear or whatever, but like she muted the presenter when
Yeah,
it
he
was
was
Yeah.
supposed to be
screaming,
like
demanding that
It
he goes
doesn't.
first when their own
it was supposed to
presentation
be
was all.
Blob Soul and
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
QOP
was
Let
versus
demanding
Witsit,
Witsit.
that
and
Let's
he
now
no,
goes
it's
no,
like
let's
dude.
just be clear. It doesn't matter if it's a presentation or not. The server guidelines still apply. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a presenter or not. Then you should be more aware of the server guidelines and not be over talking when moderation is taking place.
Okay.
Anyways,
So
so
was I out of line there answering her? Because I don't understand why she started talking over me and then claimed that I was
honestly,
interrupting her.
I didn't really hear your answer because there was a lot of like audio chaos. But I don't think she's even in the VC anymore. So
Okay.
I don't
All
even
right.
know if
Well
it's
then
worth it to address it till she comes back because then she
I'm
can't respond, right?
got it. I
Oh,
didn't come in here to
hang
talk
on.
about opinions.
She's
I
back.
That's what
came
all
in to
your
talk
entire
about the
video was.
footage. No, I came to talk okay, well the whole entire video is my opinions. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
here to point out the actual anomalies in the footage, not talk about why what I think it is. I don't know what it is. Just like Witsit says a million times, fabrication falsification is independent of replacement. So I don't have to have a replacement or have to say what I think it is. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing and what I think is faulty in it. And that's what we're trying to stick with here is the topics. So if Verity or whatever wants to just let Witsit respond, since this was all directed towards him, and maybe she can wait till the end till he's finished and then have her questions, I'd be totally fine to chop it up with her. But right now is not the time.
By the way,
Mhm.
I was correct. You corrected me and said, 30 minutes. It was just like 10 minutes. It's 28 minutes long. And my interview is almost 30 minutes with Owen Benjamin. You see my breath the whole time.
Okay. People
Okay,
can go
just drop
watch
the
it.
link for any actual truthers that don't just want to repeat nonsense lies. They can just watch the stream. It's in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, please
Can
do.
I go?
Yeah, blah. Go.
Yeah. So I had noticed that with the life coaching program and the supplements, the top level for the life coaching program was $33 a day, and the supplements were 33% off on your website. So what was that about?
I don't remember the 33% off thing, to be
I'll
honest.
post the stuff in the chat.
I'm not, you notice I didn't say you were lying, right? I said I don't remember that. So I don't remember that. But the $33 a day was literally just a coincidence based on the price of it, right? Like whatever the price of it was, which is a normal number, if you just go look at it, then it is what it is. But yeah, but I didn't, the discount I didn't even choose. I don't even know. It's just based on whatever the original price is and then what they're selling it for. I didn't pick any of the prices for anything. But while that's being brought up though, there people are claiming that I offered counseling and therapy. I didn't offer any counseling. I didn't offer any therapy. People say that my wife and I offered couples counseling and marriage therapy. No, we didn't. My wife wasn't involved with any of that at all, not even the fasting. No one, I did not offer any therapy. Steven does like emotional tap therapy, and that's what he does. He's an actual therapist. He offered people therapy, gave me a couple of the tapping sessions. I didn't offer any therapy.
So what was
that's not
the
true.
33 like top level? What did that entail? Like what did you get for that?
Yeah, just tons of different things. So you get like you get therapy sessions with him, for example, and then you get, I can't even remember what all, I have to look at the whole list. It's like you get the templates to send in affidavit of status and affidavit of facts. You get like accountability groups. So we would have like every morning we had a workout group. So we meet in the morning to do workouts or whatever. We had like a fitness section, and then a little around lunch, whatever, we would drink our tonics because we were just basically fasting, but just eating these tonics. And we would give our goals for the day, the week, the months, and the years. So like an accountability group in terms of like goal orientation. We also had like started to put together an investment group within it. Just different things like that. There was a logic course.
So
Yeah, it was just like a whole bunch, and that didn't even really do anything, by the way. Like,
yeah, so you're saying that it was just coincidentally $33. You're saying it's not okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It said $33 a day.
Yeah.
$3 a day, $11 a day, or $33 a day were the 3 tiers. We thought maybe you were just trolling.
So what is that, like
yeah, so that was a
999 to
coincidence.
like what? Well, what?
Well, no, just wondering if
It's
that
not
was
a
a coincidence or if
It's
you were
just a normal price. It's a normal total price. It's like saying, oh, is
totally normal.
one
Got it.
third of yeah. Like if you say 1/3 of a dollar, you must be in the Illuminati.
Okay, so is this
No, but
have we addressed all the points in the presentation that we're supposed to be going over? Because this was not in the presentation, and that's fine if you want to address that. But I'm just wondering because other people.
it was supposed to be, but I mean,
No,
there was
it
a
was
lot of
supposed to
things
be part
said.
of Blob's presentation because Blob was supposed to give his own presentation, but he wasn't allowed to and everybody started talking. So technically, sorry, go ahead.
Well, now you're desperate and want to do the whole like let's really slander Austin thing because all the other stuff you supposedly had was all BS. Are you guys going to show integrity and admit that we've been falsely spewing out this claim that Austin offered counseling, but actually he didn't the whole time and we made that up?
Well,
Dude,
no, that would require integrity.
Okay, so yeah, what I was my points were supposed to be in the like main part, but they said a lot, and then you guys were already like debating it. So
Oh yeah, fair enough. That's why I try
guys.
not to even jump on the stage when Q kept asking me. I'm like, nah, because I feel like it's going to derail it. I try to just wait.
But I just find it kind of weird how so there's some things that you've done that I find highly suspect, like the fact that you randomly decided to debate fluoride on modern day debates, and from that you said that someone just randomly saw it and put you in the Make America Healthy Again documentary. After not being interested in the health topic, not making any content, you tried the whole life coaching fasting thing, which is unhealthy. We've already had those debates. But then you didn't really have any intellectual curiosity with that whole topic and randomly decided to debate fluoride. Yeah. And now
I
you're
had
in
no
that Make
intellectual
America Healthy
curiosity.
Again PSYOP documentary.
Okay, you want me to tell you? Okay, you're calling it a PSYOP documentary, so you must know what it is.
Yep. It's
I
the
don't even know
Trump
what
administration, PSYOP, make everyone healthy, fake.
No, but the documentary
vaccines
itself.
great again.
Yeah. Cool story. So the documentary itself, first of all, Make America Healthy Again. That's what RFK says, and he's not pro vaccines. But we're gonna now strawman me like I somehow support Trump. Like I support
Like
Trump and how he just
I
supposedly
get that
came out with
you're
the
No, but it's just
mRNA.
wait,
weird that
wait,
you're in that.
wait. Okay, but Blob, this whole presentation was supposed to, and agreed upon, was
No,
supposed
no,
to
no.
be
You
about
don't. No,
TFE
no,
and not about other things. Now, if Witsit
no.
wants to address that, that's fine. Now,
Hey, we
Well, it's
didn't give
what I'm
attached
you
to
an
it.
saying
outline.
though,
We
Yeah,
I'm
didn't
it's
give you an
sorry.
bait.
outline of what it was supposed to
Yes,
be about.
yes,
Blob was
actually,
supposed to have his
Blob
part.
did actually.
Yeah, I know.
And it was agreed that there would be no
Hmm.
like slander, character
Well,
assassinations, all that kind of
This
stuff, right?
isn't
Because the
character
yeah.
service,
assassination.
but it was also strictly supposed to be on TFE. It wasn't going to be about him. So,
Yeah.
and that,
Well,
like I
my
said, that's
point.
totally fine if he wants to address it. But
Mhm.
are we done with the presentation part? Like, I mean,
No, it's still attached to it because
yeah, but
my point.
He's trying to put
All right,
forth this
going.
idea
I can't
Yeah,
talk.
that TFE was faked and that was me wrapping up the flat Earth psyop or whatever, that what I was doing there, and that now I'm moving on to something else. I'm still meaning with the only coherent thing you could possibly
Still,
claim. How,
yeah,
yeah.
kind of close.
Yeah, okay.
I think that
Can I address what you first said though?
go
Okay.
for it.
So okay, James from Modern Day Debate, he randomly texts me and asks me if I want to do debates. For example, he texted me and said, "Hey, do you want to debate Destiny about Trump or Harris?" And I'm like, I mean, I don't really do that. I don't talk about politics, think it's all fake. But I'm like, he's like, yeah, but it'll be a big audience. You'll get in front of a bunch of new people. I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'll just show how insane Harris's positions are, and I'll actually even talk about how Trump's also controlled op in it. Sure, I'll do it. So I did it. He reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to debate? Is fluoride in the water bad for you? I'm like, what? Against who? He said it was like an actual toxicologist or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? And the reason, and this isn't a new thing, I take random topics at time because I get in front of other audiences. So I brushed up on fluoride, which I think we should all know is bad for you, and I've known forever. And then
Hmm.
I debated it. Then someone called me and said, they got my number from someone, or messaged me on something on X. They messaged me and they got my number. And then they did a group call, 2 people. They made the movie Died Suddenly. I'm sure you guys got, I know the super truthers have some big thing about it, whatever. Okay. They made the documentary Died Suddenly, which did have some things wrong with it, but overall I think was okay. And then said, we've been watching you for a long time. One of the guys more than the other one. I think you're really good at debates. I love how you debate. I think that we're like, I lean more flat earth. He's like more on the fence, but we really like the way that you debate, the way that you present yourself, etc. We saw your fluoride debate, and we're looking for someone that will cover that in the documentary that we think can be articulate and can actually explain the position pretty well. And we thought that you would be good to do it. And I said, sure. And I haven't filmed that yet. I haven't even filmed. Like they messaged me today and said that they were in somewhere like Brazil or something, and they would be back in town Friday, and that we could set it up next week. So that's just a real thing that just happened. There isn't some big elaborate conspiracy about something. Oh, 5D chess with it's an agent being used
Well,
to. No.
that's what you're saying. Yeah, I just find it extremely suspect, like because I've brought up Ogenus to you, a nutritionist, PhD nutritionist, and did thousands of experiments and all this stuff. And when I bring him up to any like normal person, and there's a bunch of people in the VC right now that I showed them his videos, and they immediately stop paying attention to anybody else. They become all into it, and they go, "Yeah, this is the most genius guy." They completely understand that it's true. And I brought him up to you, sent you videos, and what you said to me in the VC was, "Oh, that guy that waits till there's maggots in his meat before he eats it." Now, that is not a normal reaction. So you're saying all this stuff is a coincidence, like the 33, the fact that you're in the Make America Healthy Again documentary, and everything that you've said regarding health to me just makes you suspect. And for that
Okay.
reason, I don't believe the trip because I think everyone else is automatically suspect. And the whole health thing to me has exposed you as being a agent.
Okay. Okay. Now, obviously, terrible logic there, but I'm disappointed in you for mischaracterizing our actual interactions, because what actually happened was, yes, I was talking about fasting a lot. I was actually getting people to do community fast. And by the way, we were having with these really malevolent, super sinister, fast, according to Russet over here. We let people in there for free, showed them how they could do it for free, and then spent hours and hours where we didn't make any money, talking to everyone, going through it, having them share their testimony,
You
give them
didn't even put
advice.
in the
I'm in the middle
orders.
of talking. I'm in the middle of talking.
Well, I mean, didn't she just point out the pricing thing?
Can I just finish, dude?
Yeah, go
Lifelong
ahead.
that people were talking about lifelong ailments that they had, like restless leg syndrome and stuff that was going away, and people were giving their testimonies. That's what happened with that. Then you told me that fasting was actually bad. And to be fair, your position isn't like a popular one. That doesn't mean it isn't true. In fact, it may lean towards it being true. And the way that you just characterized how I handled that is totally disingenuous, because what actually happened was I was like, wow, I mean, I haven't heard this. I debated you a little bit. I pushed back when you first brought it up because I just thought it was like absurd to say that fasting was actually bad for you. But then ended up listening to you. We had like an hour, 2 hour long conversation. And then the next time we were in there, the rest of the room was really going at you hard. And I stood in and defended you, even still manned your position against them, and said, actually, there seems to be more to it than maybe you would
Yeah,
think.
that's
He
true.
definitely knows what he's talking about. So why do you omit that from your story and then claim I
No,
said,
that's
oh, the
true.
guy who leaves maggots in his food? That none of that's real.
No, that was something you said like months and months after the fact. So I then showed you all these videos. I like sent them to you, and I brought them up to you in the VC. This was way after, and you said something that not a single other person has ever said. Nobody's ever said that except you.
You have
And it
told
was a
me
complete
that you did.
misrepresentation.
No, it's not. You told me that the meat's actually better if there are actually maggots in it when it starts to rot. And I said to you, and since then, that's too far for me. You know, like, I don't know, you could be right, but if you're not actually letting the meat rot and then eating it room temperature, raw, rotting, that's a bit far for me. And I'm not saying that I could have cogged this, or I could be like whatever. I'm not even disputing that, right? I mean, I have the same reaction to urine therapy and different things. I'm just saying I don't want
Feces
to eat
maxing.
raw,
Yeah.
rotting meat, bro.
No, that's fine. That's
So.
fine. No, but it was just your reaction to me bringing up these videos of this guy who didn't even like barely talks about rotting meat at all, and like any of his videos
No,
barely
I was
talks about
talking
it.
about you saying that, and I asked you for what I asked you multiple times, like what his name was. It's hard to like spell it by hearing it. I went and tried to look him up. It was hard to find him. I asked you. I said I can't really find much about this guy. Can you send me stuff? You said yeah, they hide him. You sent me stuff. He's just in a long list of things that I should research. I looked
Yeah.
into him some. And so like this is just like, you know how many people have your position? Austin, I sent you like 7 videos of something that would take like 30 hours. Why did you not immediately make it your entire sole mission in life? You must be an agent. Like, that's
Can I ask
ridiculous,
you?
bro.
That's not. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, when you did the fasting, you did the thing, you wanted to do like a group fasting. Did you get all of those orders in so everybody could partake in that?
Yeah, some of them were delayed. I missed a couple of the orders, and I tried to
And
make it right with all the people. I even gave refunds to people and then sent them the stuff anyway. But no, some
okay,
of the
so
orders got missed.
but you missed it, right? It wasn't Steven's
Yeah.
fault?
No, it
Because
wasn't
I
Steven.
remember you saying it was, at the time it was Steven, and then Steven was like, no, he just didn't get the orders in on time.
What?
But at
No,
least now
no,
you can
no.
admit that it was you.
Well, first of all, see, you're such a liar, dude. Okay, what
No, that's
actually
how I
happened?
remember it happening.
Oh, yeah.
For
Well,
real.
then you can never remember. You conveniently always misremember things in such a way that are lies that slander people. How inconvenient for you! What a terrible life you must have. So what actually happened was there are multiple things that had happened different occasions, and there were certain flavors, certain types of the blends that did in fact run out that I was waiting to get. And there were certain times that I missed the order, or the order said it was fulfilled but didn't fulfill. So it wasn't a singular order, and there were different answers for different situations. So if I was waiting on one of the flavors to come in because they ran out, then that was the truth. So if I was waiting on Steven to send me that, which did happen more than once, then that was the truth. And if it was that I accidentally missed an order, or thought I had fulfilled it or overlooked it, then that was the truth. And I then tried to cover their shipping out of pocket, refund them, and then cover their actual supplements out of pocket and send them to them for free. And normally would send them the bigger size and extra ones. That's not really good for your grift narrative, though, I guess.
About that dude, Steven Dragon. I tried to find information about him. And I couldn't find anything. I just found like this Instagram page, but like how did you link up with that guy?
That's a good question. I don't even remember. He knew someone, maybe someone, I heard maybe you say, someone said that it was through Jaren. I don't remember it being through Jaren, but I don't remember. He got a hold of me somehow. I don't know. How does anyone? I would have to look into how he got into me. One thing that happened also, I remember while we were doing all that, was he had this major move. He moved everything from one place to the other, which put a huge pause on like the fulfillment of the orders. He stopped making them while he was preparing for the move, and it was like this huge move from one house to another one, really far away, blah blah blah. That happened. There was a couple issues with the actual fulfillments, like the flavors themselves, like to make one of the blends, and then there were a couple times that I missed stuff. In terms of how I met him, I don't remember. I can go look it up. I don't know if he reached out to me on Telegram or my email. I'm a pretty publicly accessible person, though. I mean, I don't know if he had somehow got a hold of Jaren, who's much seemingly more accessible at times, and then he was like, "Hey, this guy wants to do something," or I don't really remember. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Okay. Yeah, he's a little bit suspect to me just based on his name, Dragon.
Well, it's definitely not the most ideal last name, yeah.
He's reptilian. But
You think he's actually a reptilian?
no, I just think he
I
might
don't
be
think
into
so. I've had lots of private
dragon
calls
worship.
with him.
Yeah,
Okay, I
well,
don't
I
know.
think that like pasteurization's like a dragon worship thing. But
Okay, bro, but can you
I don't
at least
think we should
do you at
be
least have
making
self-awareness enough to
claims
admit that
like
you're
that about people that aren't here and like no underhanded comments and stuff like that. Sorry, what's it? Sorry, but you
well,
shouldn't
so,
be
like I know I talked to him a lot. He doesn't worship dragons or whatever, but you can at least you have enough self-awareness to admit that your position does seem very extreme, random, and a huge minority position to the average person. It doesn't mean that you're wrong, because like I said, oftentimes that's what actually typically is the truth a lot of times, but you can admit that, right? That doesn't
yeah,
mean that
no, I'm
someone
not.
is an agent or is secretly worshiping dragons or is like some crazy. That doesn't mean that they're into some occultic crazy practice because they haven't found the one guy, according to you yourself, like the one guy that figured it out and then got
Well,
assassinated.
I mean, it's not just him that talks about fasting being bad, but he talks about a bunch of stuff that most people haven't heard. But that's the fasting thing is kind of
Sure,
like a
but that's a
low
whole
level.
debate, right? You agree it's a whole debate. You agree that like there's a debate about that.
Somewhat. I mean, that's not. Yeah, I'm not. That's fine, whatever. But
Because I've fasted and I've actually had good results. And you've addressed that, yeah, maybe if you're so toxic or whatever, fasting can help you. But it's actually not ideal. It's that you're starving your body, or I don't know. Maybe you're right, bro. Okay, but I know people who have had restless leg syndrome their whole life. Then they fasted, it went away. Right? I had a moment. I had a lot of migraines. I fasted, and then I stopped having migraines. There are people that have good results from fasting. There are people who have gotten rid of cancer from fasting. So,
I've heard
like,
better things about raw milk fasting. Just saying.
well, yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I've heard that as well.
yeah, well, I mean, so the point is basically for me, like, I don't think the 24-hour sun has to be fake. I don't think it like debunks anything or proves anything. Um, but I do think it's extremely suspect, and I don't think there's enough evidence to believe that it's a real thing because we have a couple videos from a group of people that, I mean, I find highly suspect. Maybe all the stuff about 33 just being a coincidence and all that, maybe, I guess. But yeah, to me, it's just inconclusive. Like, there's not enough evidence to believe in these videos that we have from a Glover, by the way, Will Duffy. So that's my point.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I went there to witness it myself and come back with testimony. People can all of a sudden pretended, which means that if you guys think I'm an agent, then you guys believe that I deceived you the whole time. If you didn't, until I went and brought back something that was inconvenient, so then like you're shooting yourself in the foot in terms of discernment claims anyway. Like the whole reason I decided to go, the reason I got talked into going, and Jaron suggested I go, is because we thought I would maybe be one of the guys least likely for people to just jump off the deep end on, but that was clearly not true. So it's whatever. The trip actually happened. We went there. There was a sun, and it went in circles around my head. It didn't stop going in circles around my head. The first thing I did when I landed was I pulled out a solar filter and I looked at it. When I was on the plane going there, I'm like, damn,
I would assume we're going to actually see a 24-hour sun. No way they're actually letting us go there if it's going to set. It is what it is. And the truth is, like, this is the thing. You know that it's a sign of intellect to be able to entertain things that you don't believe to be true, right? And like normally the test is, hey, you know, how do you feel? How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast? And then the person's like, but I did eat breakfast. Or it's like, no. How would you feel, right? So like, how would you feel if if you were me and you actually did just go to Antarctica, haven't lied about anything, actually just went and actually got screwed over by the people putting it on, got basically no sleep, got super sick, spent money you didn't have, went and saw the sun. There was a 24-hour sun, and you came back, you told the truth, and that a month later, people are still coming up with every conceivable idea as somehow you're a liar, agent shill, and it's all fake. How would
Well,
you
a month
feel?
later, you
I
still
would.
don't have.
See, you can't answer it, so sign of low intellect. See, Bob, can you
No,
answer it?
we both
Yeah,
talked at
I
the
would.
same time. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Blob.
Yeah, I would totally get it if I went and saw this thing and that there's only like a couple videos of, and people were questioning it, saying it's fake, bringing up things that, you know, I might have did that were really suspect, although you wouldn't be able to do that with me. But I would totally get it. I'd be like, yeah, I get that you don't believe it. Like, that's fine. So
So
I
the
would get it if I
telemetry
did
No.
see
data.
What
that.
I'm asking is, how would you actually feel? I just addressed the telemetry data thing, dude. Okay, it's $350 to get the telemetry extraction program for the GoPro.
So you didn't get the
I
money
raised
for it.
money for. Yes, I raised money for it. First, I didn't get enough money for it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to send this money back to this guy, and for the $100 that first got sent to me, and then I ended up getting enough for it. Okay. Then I went and got the program. I pulled all the telemetry. I started reaching out to everyone, telling them to send me their GoPro stuff, and it shows my actual home address. And I've tried everything I possibly can to get it to remove that part of the data. And if I just brute force edit it out, obviously that's going to be a whole freaking conspiracy. Oh, see, they can't give the raw data of the GoPro because I'm a super truther. That must mean that actually they were in Iceland and whatever other nonsense
So
they're going to say. So I am absolutely not putting out raw telemetry data with my
okay, that's fine.
family's home address.
Got it. Okay, so what about the like other footage? Is that the only stuff that you were the terabyte or whatever of information? Was that all that you were talking about, or was
Okay,
there
so
like body cam and GoPro and
mhm.
other footages?
Yes, there is GoPro footage that I wore on my chest at times. I didn't film as much as everyone else. Like I was like the worst guy to go in terms of that. Like I wanted to like be away from cameras. But anyway, like I do have some. I showed most of my videos. They're all on this site that I'm putting together, and I don't know, I've been really sick the last like 5 days or whatever, but uh I do have some. Jaron put all his out, have all the stuff from Liz. Another problem is I keep on pestering all the other people involved, asking them to send me their stuff so we can put it all in one place so it can be publicly available. And people really are not cooperating all that well. But anyway,
Just post
there
your
is there
stuff. You can't control other
sure,
people, but you can
sure.
post what you have, and at least like a
Yeah, but I
couple of
dropped a lot
things.
of stuff into Telegram like almost
I know, but
immediately.
okay, but what about all the other platforms? Like one other
Okay.
platform where the public can access it without going through like 15,000 other posts from other people on your Telegram.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I built a whole site to try to be able to make it easy for everyone. I should have
What's the
already had
name of
that
the
out. I don't
site?
have it out. Whatever. I don't have it
Oh, you don't have
published
it
yet
up yet.
because of the domain. Yeah, and that's 100% my fault. Should have already had it out. I wanted it to be like perfect where everyone would send me their stuff so we could put it all to bed, and it like low key backfired because it's still not up. So now it's just making it take longer and whatever. Okay, that's my fault. Fine. I can just quickly add a domain to it, publish it, and then we'll add to it as we go, I guess. It'll all be a conspiracy no matter what I do. Okay, but the GoPro footage I already have it downloaded. That's fine. The terabyte thing you keep referencing, it's a one file. It was Duffy's 360. It's in high definition. It was 1.45 terabytes. That's because half of the video was broken up into 52 videos, right? And it took like 2 days just to even get to that. We had to go to the actual company to get it because it was such a big file. It has to be opened up through the Insta360 app. And there was 52 videos, and then there's 26 videos in lower res. The 26 videos plus the 52 videos, which are all combined, I mean, so 52 combined for the 25 hours, whatever, is 1.45 terabytes. And dude, anyone that's actually ever done something like that knows that's insane. you know. And so we've tried to export it and download it and get it uploaded, get it processed, and it's insane. And then you would get 17 hours in, and then it would fail and it would be corrupted. Or then we go through Adobe, and then it changes the format a little bit, and then the mountain starts jiggling in it for some reason. Or then there's like some random like artifact in the video, and oh, it's a whole conspiracy, we actually edited it. And then there's some claim that I posted the video and then edited it once it was already posted to YouTube, which is not even possible. I don't know. So it's been a whole thing to the point where people that were complaining, I'm just like, you know what, dude? I'll give you access to the Dropbox and we'll see what you can do. And then 4 days later, they're like, I'm sorry, this sucks, because it does suck. So anyone that knows anything about video knows that if you're trying to get so just the one video, it's like just under a terabyte in total. With the 26 low res, half of it is 1.45 terabytes. That is a ton of video in high definition to try to download, to try to export, to try to render. It is no easy task, even if you have like an incredibly good computer, right? So it has taken a really long time. Then you put it into YouTube and it takes forever, and then you get it up and then it's not good enough, you know. So that's
No,
just
I
how it
feel
goes.
you. I know how it goes. I've been dealing with the same. I get it. Not on the scale obviously you have, but well, let's address some of QOP stuff since he's not here and he really wanted you to address some of his stuff, please.
Well, did you
Okay.
want to ping him and try to get him back so he can ask, or is he like gone?
I mean, he already heard. I don't know. I don't know if somebody blob. Do you want to ping him? I don't know. I can't. I don't have. I could try messaging
Okay,
him,
so
but
if
I
we
mean,
want
he
to
knows
solve.
what the points were.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Well, like quickly, like one of the things he contrasted it and said, he was just saying assertions, right? So he was saying like he's like contrasted the sky and like you know, this is not how the sky looks when you contrast. What? He didn't show another picture or video of the sky and contrast it. Like it looks completely normal to me. I don't know what he's saying. He contrasted the sky. There are layers to the sky. You know, it's called a gradient. Like
I mean,
I
there
didn't
was a
see.
line that was going up from where
Yeah, that was a different thing. Like the seam.
the seam, it made like a 90-degree angle up at the top and it looked blurred out. And I think the original video of that was scrubbed. And then you had the re-upload that looked like it was, you could still see the line, but it wasn't like a dark line like that. That
See, I
Patriot
don't know
guy, I
what
forget his
that
name.
claim is. Like, nothing was scrubbed and re-uploaded. Like, I don't even know what that's referencing.
So I think it was maybe one of Duffy's videos that was originally. I didn't see the original one. I saw the upload of the warrior guy that put. It was in the middle of my presentation. It was like the blue screen, and he was like, "Look, here's this line right here, blah blah blah." So people have been looking for that and have only been able to find your upload of it, and the other one is now gone. And in that one it had a black line. In yours it has like a blurred, the line is still there but it looks blurred, like you can still, and that's why he was doing the contrasting so you could see it better when he brought the levels to the colors or whatever down, and you could see like a faint like blurred, you know, this pretty much in the same exact spot that it was, just, you know, I mean, I'm sure you're not going to admit to it
But
even
I
if
just don't
you're
understand.
aware of it.
Well, yeah, I literally don't know what you're talking about, but you're claiming, and I've heard the claim and I stepped away from this for obvious reasons. I actually think it's ridiculous. But anyway, like first it was that I uploaded something and scrubbed something and then uploaded a new one. Now it's like someone else did, and there was another one,
No,
and then I uploaded a separate one.
no, I don't think the claim was ever that you deleted it. I think it was from Duffy or one of the Globers that had posted it, and that's where the guy got it from. And then when people were trying to ask for the original, it's like all in his comments. You can see back and forth with other people saying, "Yeah, I saw it. Now the video's gone." And then the only one you can get is on Witz's channel, and the one that's on your channel, it looks like blurred, but you can still see that there is a line there, and that above the camera at like the 52-minute mark or whatever. Um, and there's other things that like QOP did find in that footage of like weird triangle shapes and other weird shapes that he was trying to point out. But um, you know, yeah, it's strange for sure. It's
No,
something
not
that
for
you
sure.
guys would bring up. It is for sure. I mean, it's the same stuff that you guys would bring up looking at NASA footage and moon missions. So what we're doing is no different than what you've been doing for years. I mean, right?
No, that's not true. That's not, no, not true. Because when I look at NASA footage and they're claiming that they're in space, and then all of a sudden there's green screen artifacts, that makes no sense. whenever they're supposedly in 0G and they drop things. I've actually consistently called out how ridiculous some of the claims are when people claim that it was faked. I'm like, this makes us look bad. That doesn't mean that that's fake. That's a terrible claim. People just start making stuff up. I've always done that. And I've showed that some of the claimed videos are videos that claim that they prove NASA was lying is wrong. So no, I try not to do that. And the stuff like,
Yeah.
oh, there was a line, but well, there's a triangle. If I contrast, it looks like there might kind of be a triangle here. I would never do that. I don't like. What are you talking about? Like, no, I, that sounds
Okay.
insane to me.
Okay.
So
Good to know. Well, it doesn't
yeah.
sound insane to the rest of us, so
No, you
teach their
say
own.
that, but it does actually. Like when you there's just like this vague, alleged appeal to this elusive majority doesn't actually exist, right? Like anyone that actually researches the claims would be like, wait up, I can just watch the stream with Owen Benjamin. Clearly, he drinks tea throughout the stream and you see his breath the whole time. And clearly, this dude's just lying and claiming that they left on the same day. But there's evidence of them even streaming when they got back. And we've actually seen that they got back the day earlier. So why are they saying? So what most people are doing is fact checking these claims. And they're like, wow, and if you're a big home run video, you have to constantly say, oh, well, maybe I got that wrong. Oh, well, that was just a joke. Oh, okay, well, that
It's
was not a
just
strong
no,
point.
it's just
And
me
it's
being
like,
honest. Like
what
the
the
like
hell?
the drone footage one, I admitted that I went back and watched that one and got both of the originals and put them side by side, and the drone does beep when it's next to him. So that other one that I saw from whoever posted it was misleading, and I said that in my video. And I also, all the things that I've been wrong about, I'm like, please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, tell me, am I wrong about when I listened to Banjos and he was pointing out that the guy said it was the midnight sun and it was really 9 p.m. and he's standing there and the shadow's the same as in front of, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like that footage in front of the mountain. Is that bullshit too, or is there some sort of is
What?
there?
No, I don't keep up with Banjo. Banjo has said
No, I had
insane
it.
claims the
I
whole
had it
time.
in my video. It was a clip of him talking in my video. He said he watched it right before you came in, and the shadows on the mountain, the shadows on the sign of Union Glacier is going the same direction as the guy that's standing there when it's supposedly like 3 p.m. or whatever, and you guys were claiming it was, I forget what time it was, midnight or some other time, like the So did you not see that part? Is basically what you're
No, I
telling me?
don't. No, I didn't, and I don't know what it's
Okay, no
referencing.
worries.
But but someone sent me a screenshot that's supposed to be, I guess, referencing this, where it has a screenshot from his picture, or his video, which is a screenshot, and it shows like the video file. I don't know if this is the case because again, I asked you guys to try to think about my position. Would you actually invest all of your time around the clock to address every brand new one when people are just moving the goalposts, making stuff up when you were there? Like realistically,
Well,
you wouldn't. Okay, but no,
well,
but you
there
can
was.
say you would, whatever. No normal person would if they have any actual life, right? If you actually know you went, you would. Like I've done more than anybody else probably would,
You
right? I've been
have. I
extremely
agree.
patient to the point that I've even
You
came
have.
here again a month later. But what I'm saying is, when I went with my P900, for example, right, I had to remember to change the time to what they claimed. It's like this arbitrary determination of what time zone that they were going to use, right? Because if the sun just stays up the whole time, then what time zone are you in? So they just picked the time zone that was the same as Punta Arenas. And if you film something with the camera and don't
Oh,
change the time
so
zone, then
that's
you
the
could have the.
reason?
I don't know.
Is
I don't
that
know
the
because
reason
I'm
why
just.
everything
I don't know.
isn't? Because that was my next question, is why is it like when Duffy shared your video today about you saying that you didn't get the Wi-Fi code or whatever, and then showed footage of you like an hour after that the Starlink was up and you were talking about how you were like, did you see that today? So in that
No, I
clip,
don't care. I don't care.
okay, well, in that clip, the sun is in the same spot that, like, in the other video, it was, it said midnight. It was a midnight, supposed to be midnight in Antarctica at that point, a part of the mountain. But on the screen, it says 11, 30, whatever, from Point Arentas or whatever time. And I'm like, well, if they're in Antarctica, why are they putting like Chile's time, like time zone in there? I don't understand why you wouldn't put Antarctica. So technically it would have been 3:30 something in the morning, not 11 something. So it's things aren't matching up with what they're saying or what you guys are saying, because I'm just now put you all in one camp. It's not even flat earthers versus globe. It's the Antarctica people are claiming that this was a midnight sun over the mountain. But then when you look at other footage, it's show the sun and the shadows aren't matching up with what you guys are saying. So that's where the biggest discrepancies are coming in. So if you don't know that argument, you should probably go and watch that part of the video, because it's pretty, like, that to me is like the way bigger topic than just talking about whether or not you did an interview in Point Arenas or in Antarctica or whatever. So are you
Okay.
saying that the footage itself was set to Point Arenas or
What?
whatever?
I just said I don't even know what the argument is. I'm not saying
Union
anything.
Glacier. My understanding is that Union Glacier uses Punta Arenas time zone, correct? That's what the whole site, Union Glacier, uses the Punta Arenas time
Yes.
zone?
Yes.
That's a standard, yeah.
So it's not a 4-hour difference between Point Arenas and
No.
Antarctica?
No, they use the same time zone because that's where
Antarctica's a
they
whole
fly in and out from
place.
there. Yeah, they fly in
No,
and
I
out.
know.
They
I
have it
looked up
coordinated.
Union Glacier today. I looked up Union Glacier and Point Arenas, and they were 4-hour time difference when I looked it up.
No, yeah, but I've already heard that there's like one place that reports it wrong, and a couple places that report it wrong. All I know for a fact is that they were using the Punta Arenas time zone. It was the same, and Union Glacier as Punta Arenas, which is like 2 hours different from Eastern. But I will say, with this same like sales pitch, this same like conviction of this is the one that's really damn like you. To be fair, you've presented all of it like that, right? And it's like just none of them are correct. So it's whatever. And I will just say, when you go too hard, I mean, hopefully you can walk it back, whatever. But when people go too hard, like they can't walk it back. Like I already knew Banjo was like that because I met Banjo in private and said, buddy, your book is wrong. Okay. And I went through it with him and he refused to take it down or to admit it because he's too invested. And a lot of these people are going to be too invested and claiming it was fake. They're going to go down with the ship, but they're going to still then make this like conclusory claim that's like all the evidence. I mean, come on, if you just put it all together, but in reality, we just now chipped away at all of it. But you just still say all of it as if it's this big pile of stuff. And there's this reoccurring theme where it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, that does make sense. Oh, I must have misunderstood that. That's what all of it is. Okay, it's misunderstanding, or you haven't got the actual proper answer. One thing QOP said, for example, was like, Witsit said this wasn't the same mountain. He's like, oh, how many times does someone have to lie before you know they're lying or something like that? It's like, yeah, I said it wasn't the same mountain when I was talking to Dustin. I was wrong. The reason I assumed it wasn't the same mountain was because it was like a 20-minute freaking drive and we were going kind of slow, of course, in the snow, but I knew it was a few miles away. So I just assumed it wasn't the same mountain. But turns out it is the same mountain. And then I was shown the drone footage. Jaren told me live. I found that out on Kingdom of Context that it was the same mountain. I didn't even know. That's not lying though, right? Like I didn't know. Lying
Yeah, no,
requires
I
intention.
understand.
Yeah, that was just being mistaken. By the way, I have
Well, and
something I want to bring up too, but go ahead.
wait, can I just ask one more thing? The footage of the Jaren burning the paper, is that like the only experiment he did, first of all? And second of all, when watching that, his shadow is going one way and the shadows on the tents are going the exact opposite way. Like, how is that possible?
Okay, the shadow thing has been pretty thoroughly explained based on the camera you're using, the angle, and the angle of the light source. I wouldn't call that an experiment, but
No, he
we
was
didn't do.
doing
Yeah, I know. He took the magnifying glass. I know, but like
Yeah.
we didn't look. We didn't do a bunch of quote unquote experiments. We were told we could only bring one bag, and then we were told we had to bring very specific clothing, specific layers. And when you
No,
get
I
everything they
understand.
say
I was
with
just
so we couldn't do any tests there. That's what's so frustrating about it is that we went there with like all the odds stacked against us, right? All the mainstream media obviously ready to. They had all these media runs like queued up. They're going to take us out of context. We can't really bring stuff we're lied about. I don't know what Duffy said in that video. I guess he's showing me using the internet shortly after. Yeah, because I had to go secretly behind his back and get the code, right?
an
And
hour
then had to
later
like
though, that was
hide.
the timestamp
That,
on it
that,
was
that
an hour,
it
not
doesn't matter.
7 or 8 hours or 18
Dude,
hours. Because you also claimed
this is the point. He came and then offered me the Wi-Fi code the next morning, like 8 hours later, meaning he
I thought it was
didn't
18
get.
hours.
No, what? No, I've never
You
said
said
18
18
hours.
hours. You did in one of your I think the first stream that you did when you came back, you said 18 hours, and then in another conversation with Karen B, you said 7 or 8 hours, and so
I
that's
don't think
another
I've ever said
inconsistency.
18. I don't remember
Yeah,
that. If I
and
did, I
then
misspoke.
when you
I'm
talked to Karen, you
almost
said it
guaranteed I
could
didn't
have
even
been
say
overnight,
it.
and then
I'm sure I
when
didn't even say
according to
it. I
Duffy,
didn't
it was
say
an
it.
hour.
I can almost guarantee I didn't even say 18. Duffy's a liar. Duffy, when I talked about how I wanted to do a stream, it was the next day, and he's like, "Do you need the Wi-Fi?" So I had to sneak behind his back and get it from Mark. And then Mark was like, "Don't let him know I told you though." Okay. So what I've said the whole time was that he set up the Wi-Fi, said we couldn't have it, gave the password to the Globers, then didn't give the password to the Flat Earthers until many hours later, which is just a fact. I had to sneak around and get it and then try to make sure he didn't know I had it, which means I definitely couldn't do like live streams and stuff, right? Because I wasn't supposed to have the internet. So I
Jaren
didn't
did a
lie or
live
anything
stream
there either.
at the first camp. Why you couldn't do one there?
That's a different. No, that wasn't the point, dude. The point was that when we first got there, we set everything up and we ate. Jaren did a stream, so I'm like, okay, Jaren's gonna do this stream and let everyone know we're here. Different Wi-Fi at the different camp. The point was that I couldn't do a stream when we were now at the next place when everyone else was doing their like update stream where we're actually going to be filming the sun because we weren't technically supposed to have the Wi-Fi. So I didn't lie about anything to do with that. And this is what's also pissing me off why I just had to step away. You have these Globers that went on the trip and now they're putting out hit pieces and they're lying. They're lying about what happened on the trip. They're slandering me. They're claiming that I'm lying, right? And now I also like you have McKeegan saying like it looks like well maybe Witsit did fake his breath, but that doesn't invalidate the trip. I didn't fake my freaking breath. So I have the Globers over here lying about me, all working together to try to slander me, and then I have all the flat earthers doing it at the same time. So and it's just like oh my god, this is so gay. Why did I go? I went to try to help out the community. I went for you guys. That's what pisses me off. It's whatever. I'm not just going to call in here and rant, but it's just like, it's so annoying. It doesn't take a freaking Sherlock Holmes to put together, oh, wait a minute. If Duffy dropping videos trying to expose that Witsit's lying, they're not on some big elaborate conspiracy together. And wait till you guys see the behind the scene footage where I'm like just going off on these people. And completely go off on these people and call them out and expose them to their face and call them liars.
Do you have footage of
You know?
that in case
Yeah,
they
well,
don't release that? Oh, sorry,
Jonathan
Bob.
has it. Yes, I already checked. Jonathan, he has it. Jonathan's not going to send anything that he has, though, because he doesn't know he's going to use in the documentary. And McToon has it, but I guarantee you he's not going to release it. But yet they're both telling the story and lying about it, even though McToon has that footage, but he won't release it for obvious reasons. He gets completely exposed.
it's just the
Hey
idea
guys,
that you would have like
say my? Can I get
I
in
go.
at some point? Go ahead,
All
unless
right.
you have a direct response to that.
It's just
I just had like I mean I certainly have some thoughts on all this stuff, but I'm not gonna go long because you guys there's a lot. I just had my like 1-2 minute thing I wanted to not even it's just yeah at some point. But
well,
did you
I
want
was
to
gonna
respond to that first or?
yeah, I was gonna say that um it's just like the idea of like a false dialectic where you have like all the flat earthers are really suspect of it for a reason. And it's because we haven't had footage of this thing until 2025. We finally got legit supposedly legit footage. But what they do is they create false dialectics where they put out shills, people like Alex Jones, Eric Dubay, like the alternative information truther people are controlled op, and then they'll have those people argue against other shills, and it's all a giant gatekeeping scam. It's a giant scheme to keep everyone away from higher level information, and it would be very easy to not look like a shill, but like you've had a lot of opportunities, but like one example is the point that XO brings up about how flat Earth is just the same deception as the globe Earth, and I know that that point has been made to you specifically and many other flat Earthers, and they just spurg out and actually gatekeep truth. So I just see gatekeeping of truth going on from people who make content, people who are the leaders of this movement. So
Why do
the
you
whole
keep
thing
doing this, Bob?
is
Why do you keep doing
suspect.
this?
Well, you know, like you did this with the whole health thing, right? You told the story, included me in it, as if I actually tried to gatekeep and shut down, and that wasn't true. Actually, I
Yeah, you're.
defended you in this room. I defended you in this room. I still manned your position, and I actually said, actually, guys, I thought it sounded crazy at first too, but stop interrupting him. This is what he's actually saying. What he's saying actually makes sense. You left that part of it out to paint this narrative. Doing the same thing here. I've been the one of the only
No, that was
guys
a
who have
different.
always stood up for EXO, who have always tried to make sure he doesn't get kicked out or muted, has always still manned his position. It's that I think he's abrasive, but I think he's correct. I've done entire presentations on that idea at the Kingdom of Context conference. I make the point all the time that Earth is just land. You can't objectify the Earth, and that's actually correct. So why are you bundling me in, claiming that I'm some
Yeah, but then
gatekeeper
you
that shuts
revert
that down?
back. Well, we did have that conversation in Aether Cosmology, and you said that. But then, like an hour later, you came into Earth Awakenings, and I asked you, like, "Oh, why did they ban XO from Aether Cosmology?" And you like freaked out and said, like, "Oh, we're not gonna have people who just run the room, and he just takes over the room and all this stuff." And it's like he didn't even talk. So
What? I did
I
not.
see
I
the
did
same.
not
Like
freak out.
just because you backed me up, you did. Just because you backed me up on the fasting thing, you're still anti like raw meat. And you talk about germ theory is all a psyop. I just
Germ
see
theory is a
gatekeeping going on.
psyop. Wait. You're saying germ theory is
Okay.
real? Now I'm an agent because I don't
No,
believe
I'm
in
saying
germ
it's a
theory.
psyop.
Okay, yeah, I say it all
You
the
think germ
time.
theory is a psyop, yeah, but you're still anti raw meat.
No, it's not that I'm anti-raw meat. It's that I don't prefer to eat rotting raw meat. It's like I want to sear it. Like I eat it before, medium rare. Like it doesn't even matter. I never said that you were wrong in terms of health. I said I don't
Sure.
want to eat rotting raw meat personally. That's just too far for me. Like I think urine therapy, there's probably truth to it. I don't want to drink my urine, right? Like it's like
All right.
That's
whatever,
fine. That's
dude.
fine. But the point
All
is,
right,
there's a
Blah, but
reason
dude,
why
this is
people are
I don't know,
suspect.
man. This is getting less constructive. You're now just like venting about your like critiques of his life at this point. Like, I don't know, dude. Like I
No,
know
I'm
you
just
seem to
saying.
be a fan of him, and but like at some point it's like you're just
Not
critiquing
really.
everything he says. I mean, dude, he
No,
has
no.
viewpoints on things. Like where's this going?
I'm just
I'm
saying the
hearing
reason why people are suspect is
Blob.
they just see the same pattern going on everywhere else with all these people who make content and are,
But none of them go and show their real identity and make content and show us how to do it. Do you notice that that's the common theme? Do you notice that
well,
all these
that's
super
not true.
truthers, I call them super truth. Okay, name one person that shows their real identity, consistently makes content for years, and has built some type of following that isn't a show.
Me, wakey
Scott
wakey,
Primal, that's one.
Okay,
wakey wakey.
so see, okay, so you said you, and I don't know what you look like. I'm sure that someone maybe does. You don't actually do long form live stream content for years, building a big following. So I'll say it
My
again.
first
If someone
video was 9 years ago or 8 years ago, but long
building
before
a
you did,
big
and my face is
following.
all over my old videos, and I have like, so you're right there. You're saying you just said name somebody. I named you, him, myself, and Wakey Wakey. There's two people right there, and he was actually banned from YouTube. The people that you went along with, Glowbusters and all them, claimed to be banned just as an excuse to delete all of the evidence of the old um grifting that was happening 7 years ago. And the Globers and the Flat Earthers back then were actually working together to expose them because it was bullshit.
You know what I'm
But
saying? You just
whatever.
make baseless assertions, and like you should
It's
have
not
more
baseless. Anybody
integrity.
that's been
You
around, you
immediately
haven't been
interrupted
around
me.
for
This
what,
is what you
four
gotta do.
years
That's
in the
hold
Flat
on. That's a
Earther?
lot, Rusted. Hold on. You just said a lot. That's a lot of claims about a lot of things, and then you instantly
Okay.
interrupted. I mean, that's not fair to do it that way. But okay, just do it. Do you want to respond? And I really just want at least like 30 seconds to say my one thing.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm
Sorry.
just
Go
gonna say,
ahead, Gio.
I'll hand it
After
right
him,
back
you
to
can
you.
go.
Yeah, and just like, look, man, you say the things like they're facts. We pretend to be banned just so we can cover blah blah. No one pretended to be anything. Almost anytime I talk about something other than flat Earth, my freaking video gets censored. I talk about flat Earth there. I talk about other stuff on other platforms. I've been debanked. I've been kicked off PayPal. I'll show the receipts of all this stuff. No one's pretending to be banned or whatever. I wasn't on Glowbuster 7 years ago. Can't attest to anything they did or didn't do. You told me, for example, Bob faked his death. I looked at the man dead. So yeah, I know that you are oftentimes very wrong about things, and you say them as if they're definitively true. Okay, and that is the problem. So if you are occasionally correct, well, it's really hard to ever take you seriously when you say everything as if you know it's a definitive fact. You state it as if it's a fact, and they're literally just untrue things.
I
That's the
witnessed it.
problem.
You said you weren't around 7 years ago. I was. There's plenty of people that have been around and witnessed all of the grifting and all of the lies that happened back then. And the reason why they deleted all of their things, all of their videos, was because Bob was lying about a bunch of stuff. They all were lying about a bunch of stuff. And then they deleted their videos and claimed that they were being censored by YouTube. It was bullshit, in my opinion. And everybody else back
I
then
have
saw it
access
too.
to
So
the
are we
Glowbusters
talking about,
channel, and I've
yeah,
seen that
people that
they've been
aren't
censored.
here?
I can show the receipts right now. I can go home and show the receipts of the history of how many things have been taken down and how
Please
many
do.
strikes Glowbusters. Yeah, and then when I
Please do.
do, you'll just pretend it never happened, and you'll move on to the next slander that you've been repeating
How
for
do you
years.
know what I'm gonna do
Like, it's just
until
because
you
that's what
actually
you
show me the
do. That's
evidence?
what you do. And let me say one more thing. The
Okay,
point that I
well
was
then
making
let
was
me
the other
prove
the
or
point, and
disprove it,
the point.
and let
Can I
Geo
make the other
talk
point? I wanna
because
yeah, I'm going to give it to Gio, but I want to make the bigger point here. This is the problem. The reason that truthers can never be successful and can never actually get out the truth, right? It's because of what I call the super truthers. It's never enough. You wore orange, you breathed 7 times, whatever it is. I took a still shot of your 4-hour video. It looks like you're kind of pointing up, whatever it is. Anytime someone shows their real identity and is getting actually attacked in real life, because to talk about these things in real life sucks. And when someone takes those bullets, the people that they think they're doing it for literally slander them and say that they're actually agents. And I said, give me someone with a big following that shows their real identity and has been doing it for years that isn't an agent. You said Wakey Wakey, don't know much about him. Okay, whatever. You named one person and yourself. And that's kind of my point. Is like no one
you don't know
you can
Wakey
understand.
Wakey. Well, there's not that many people out that
I
aren't
don't know
shills.
that
He
much
doesn't
about
ask
him.
for money. You really don't know who Wakey Wakey is? Are you serious?
Did you hear me say I don't know that much about him? Was there a perplexing
No,
aspect of
that's
the
just
statement? Like,
surprising that you're that. I mean, okay, whatever. Sorry, Gio. You can go next. I'm just
okay,
really
yeah,
surprised you
Gio,
don't
go
know
ahead.
Wakey Wakey.
There's
Well,
basically no one
hang
now
tight
that aren't chills.
to, well, Gio can go or whatever, but Verity was trying to get in like way before, right, when things were getting, so if Gio wants to go, but just let her get in too, please, at some point. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. This is a lot of energy of all that's being discussed. Okay, I just wanted to say basically one thing. I mean, I could have comments on the various things that were said in the last hours, but I'll hold back and just kind of chill. I won't really comment on everything, although yeah, there's a lot, of course, of that's been said. I just wanted to say one thing basically, just because it did mention me in your video where you said about the direction of the sun going in the south and the north. And you were saying that something about how I said, it goes the opposite direction. And then you were showing the videos and you said, oh, this debunks it right here. And you kind of like laughed and said you debunked it. Well, the thing is, you're playing those videos in reverse. So if you
Yes, I
go and
know.
look at the video, a few of them are being
Yeah.
played in reverse. When you play them forward, the sun always goes from right to left at the Union Glacier. Like that one I found of the skydiving video where there was that 24-hour one, it goes, yeah, right to left. And then the one that the McKeegan one does as well. So I'm just saying like whereas the ones in the north will go left to right, they'll go the opposite. So it's just like the stars clockwise, counterclockwise, same
Yeah.
type of motion. So, but it's reversed or whatever. But anyways, you were showing them in reverse, and then you said that something about you mentioned me,
I
and then
accidentally,
something.
yeah, 'cause that was in reference to when you were talking to Q Up, and he said, and you said, well, it's impossible to fake that, and he was like, well, you could just put them in reverse or just like mirror unless you're like looking at someone's face or something, and they have like a certain thing on the side of their face, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like you said something about birds flying backwards, but there are no birds in Antarctica, so you admitted that or whatever, but my point was that I was just saying like, oh, he said this couldn't be done, and I was just looking at the differences between the two, and it was making it go back and forth, and I was like, oh, look, I just did it. I probably should have cut
Okay,
that
all
out. There
right.
was a couple parts that I forgot to cut out in there that I was like, shit, that did sound kind of bad. I wasn't trying to have insults in it at all, and so my apologies that I did leave a couple in there on accident. But yeah, that part was more just kind of like you did say that couldn't be done, but obviously, like if somebody put something in reverse on a video, it could be done. So I don't know, whatever. Maybe
All
it
right.
wasn't
Well,
bad.
I mean, I do appreciate the clarification there because the way the video made it seem like was that I was saying that they rotated the other way, and then but you were playing it in reverse. It made me
No,
think,
I'm
wait, was
sorry.
that like? All
No,
right.
I didn't mean it like that. My bad.
All right, if you're just saying that it could or couldn't be reversed, I mean, I would never say that that you can't reverse video. I mean, sure, you always could reverse it. I mean, the thing is though, in the time lapse, like the one that I found from that skydiving one, there you can see the ground layer of people going in and out of their tents and like scurrying around. So, I mean, if it was going in reverse, you'd be able to see them going backwards instead of forward because there are people on the ground on that one. In terms of the like McKeegan one and all that, I mean, we could look at all of theirs to see, but there's like people in it as well. So yeah, I mean, I may have said something about reversing it would not just be some like easy thing in that way to do, just because of like, yeah, the fact that you would
People
have to
being in
have
it and
everything
everything.
else that would, yeah.
Yeah, I feel it.
Do you want to
Did
go
Aeon
over?
or
Yes.
Aeon
All
or
right.
what's your name? Is
So
it Verity or Aeon or what's the other name you go
Verity.
by? I don't.
Verity.
Verity. Okay. Okay.
I mean, the only
So
other small point just to tag on the end is at the one point you said that Lady Blunt, it said that they may see the sun in the south, and you were kind of
Mhm.
making it sound like may as if she was like, well, you may see it there. But if you read right in the next sentence, it says, and we also may see it in the north, the Arctic. So they use that term may, and even though the one in the north has been confirmed,
Yeah.
even back then. So,
And
anyways,
maybe
I'm
at
just
that
saying her wording, yeah.
her wording might be whatever. Yeah, I guess it's all open to interpretation, right?
That's what's sad about this is flat Earth is going to seemingly a large percentage of flat Earth is going to continue forward as if there's no evidence of a 24-hour sun and completely halt progression of understanding in terms of where we actually live in the conversation when the entire objective was the exact opposite, right? And so
Well, it's a good thing you
it's
Well,
can't
Richard,
control what people think.
how big of a number of do you think, like community wise? Because I mean, like in
oh
here, I mean, I may be different on different channels, but I mean, what is like the number? And do you think right now, percentage wise?
I see. Yeah, I think the people that claimed it was faked or whatever always over exaggerated, but I think the amount of people that flat earthers that actually think it was faked is maybe 25%, maybe 25% at this point. I think the number's gone down, but
No
I
way.
don't. Yeah, you guys all say that. That's what I'm saying. You guys all act like it's 85, 90%. It's absolutely not because I get contacted by tons of people. And
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
know
another
that
thing.
that's not
Wait,
the
I got a quick question. You said before that um your inbox is full of big channels trying to interview you. You get paid for those big channels that interview you. And if you're hurting for
no,
money, why aren't you
no,
doing a
you
bunch of
don't.
those interviews?
Wait, time out.
Yeah,
What makes
on
you
the
think you
big
get
channels,
paid
they
to do
pay
that?
you. They
No,
pay people to go on
no, they
the
don't.
Okay, well, okay, if they don't pay you, why aren't you going on these bigger channels? You said your whole inbox was full like a month
I
ago
haven't
and you
started.
haven't done
Oh,
any.
okay, so quickly move over. Okay, so you don't get paid to go on the shows. Depending on the connect, sometimes you get travel expenses paid, but you're supposed to consider it an honor that they're giving you the platform. You don't get paid to go on big shows, so you don't know what you're talking about. But I was hoping to wait for the Candace Owens show first, and that's gotten delayed for whatever reason because of the whole thing. So I was hoping to do that one first. Also, like the last week or so, I've actually been like had this crazy cough since Antarctica. In the last week or so, it's gotten crazy. And every day I wake up, I have this like insane cough, and I can actually like taste blood in my throat.
Oh,
And
that's
so
not
like
good.
I've been like crazy sick the last week. So yeah, I
You've been
just haven't been doing
you've been
it.
cutting out the vaping and the cigarette smoking?
Yeah, I don't. Yes. No.
Okay,
I
good.
just did
As
that in
long as you're
Antarctica. But and there's no way that I'm coughing and stuff because I hit a vape in Antarctica and I smoked like one cigarette, right? But whatever it
did they
is
have it?
bad. I was convinced to take ivermectin. We'll see. We'll see. It actually looks like a
Don't
yeah.
take ivermectin, not the big
Well,
Merck garbage. The big
too late.
pharma.
Too late.
It's owned by
Too late.
Merck. There's like 30 side effects. Please don't
Well,
take.
Okay.
too late.
I may not like you, but please don't take ivermectin.
Yeah, I was gonna
Jesus.
say it
Take
doesn't
some
seem now
garlic and
you've been like
honey, if
trying
anything.
to rip them apart for hours, and now you're like, oh, caring for them and like let me help it.
That's the
Well,
mom in
no,
me.
my
I
throat
can't
hurt
help
so
it. Take
bad
some
I didn't
garlic and
care.
honey.
So.
Get some rest. Stop talking so
Well,
much. Go get off right
well,
now and go to bed.
I
Shit.
mean, why not originally like all these things? Why not originally have just brought them up to Austin, to all of us here, without doing all of the like slander and attacks and calling, You know what I'm saying? Like, why not just have done this
Because
first?
I'm old school. This is what you do on YouTube. This is how it was back in the day. If this isn't how you understand how things work out here, then like,
So you're
welcome to the
just
show.
doing like things out of integrity to try to create drama in some old way of
No,
like.
not at all. This
That
is
is
how I
absolutely what
feel.
she does.
This is how I
Yeah,
feel.
she's
This
a
is these are
disingenuous human being,
Well,
and
let's
that's all
not
she
attack
is.
her. I'm just asking. I'm
no,
not
no,
trying to.
attack me. Please
No, it's just
show
absolute
everybody your
fact.
real colors. Show
Just
everybody your
absolute
true
fact.
colors. That's cool. We all know
Well, you
about
just
your
admitted
history,
that
so.
you put stuff online, not really
No,
knowing if
because
it's true,
dude, I
and
have
then stated.
messaged you. No, I did not say that. And I messaged you. Okay, the first video that I made in a very long time was the Maui thing for you specifically because when we spoke, you didn't know any of the videos I was referencing. And I was like, you know what? Instead of just sending you individual videos, I'm going to make a quick, 30-minute, 40-minute, whatever, I forget how long it was, breakdown of the stuff. You never responded, never anything. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. And it took a while. I was like, I get passionate about things. Sometimes I make
Does she
videos,
ever
sometimes
shut
I
up?
don't. I see a bunch of stuff that I now I'm like, wow, this needs to be pointed out and this needs to be pointed out. So I make videos about it. This is what people do as content creators. Like I don't know, I'm not sitting here trying to
No,
like
you say
Yeah,
things
charge
as
no.
people for
definitive
anything.
fact
I'm not
in the
saying
videos.
please
You said
donate
my
to me. I
wife
don't have
was a
any PayPal. I don't
therapist.
have any kind of money donation thing going
Okay.
on. I'm doing this on my
That
free
isn't some
time. This is
flex, dude. That if someone puts their real identity out and
my
jeopardizes their
face
ability,
is in my
please stop
videos. I don't
interrupting
know
me.
what you're
Yeah,
talking
okay,
about.
and
My
trust me,
real
you're not gonna
identity has
get.
been doxed
Okay, cool. And
numerous
guess
times
what? You're
7, 8 years
never
ago.
gonna get a job that requires any
I don't
public
need a job.
reputation.
I work for myself,
Okay,
bro.
you're
I don't care
listen
Well,
what
to
hold
the
other
on.
people
Ever
think.
points
since
that
I
I'm
brought this up,
making, bro.
it's been like a total intense thing ever since I brought that up. I mean, can we go one at a time or?
Just chill. Like, look, the point I'm making
I was
is,
just
You
saying,
said
why
I
if
can't
don't
we
put my
just?
someone
face out there. I do.
Rustic, can you chill? You don't even know what I'm saying. Okay,
You
the
just
point
said
is,
it.
oh my God, dude, you can't control yourself. You keep on bringing up that some people offer the ability to donate to them as if it somehow proves they're a shill, and it's this giant flex that you don't have a PayPal. No one cares, bro. When people are putting their real identity out and they're talking about a lot of these
My real
subjects, certainly,
identity is out.
please stop. And they're actually getting traction, if they actually are able to be seen and easily searched, they have now effectively, permanently jeopardized much of the successful future employment they could have. Okay. You can go get a job that doesn't really matter, where they don't really care about your public reputation or what you do online. But for example, I lost the sales rep offer I had right early on in Flat Earth when I was making content early on because of my Flat Earth stuff. They told me to take it down.
Why didn't you take up that?
If
Hey, hey, no, let me say one thing about that specifically. You said that you got offered $10,000 for some video game stuff. Why? I would rather you take money for some cat video game than hitting up the truther community nonstop for a backpack or a compass or whatever the fuck else you need. So please, why would you turn down $10,000 to do a 1-minute ad for a cat video game? Why would you turn that down? Are you
I
stupid?
didn't.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
I
I
watched the
retract that last
trailer
statement.
of the video game, and it had like weird sexual references in it and stuff, and I'm not putting it on my channel and promoting it
What was the name of
because
it?
they want you. I don't remember. I can find it. They want you
Yes,
to
please find
act
it.
like, calm down, dude. They
Well,
want you to act
I'm
like you
curious. I
know
just
the lit. Can you calm
please.
Jesus
down, dude?
Christ.
You
Rusty,
can't calm
you
down.
gotta
Rusted,
chill, dude.
please.
You're like this
Stop
is like
it.
you're kind of acting a bit like the paparazzi right now. I gotta say,
Dude,
you're
So they
asking like
you
1,000 questions while half attacking, but also like
because
reporting and trying to get all this
I
info.
have a million
Just-
I
Rusted.
have a million
This
questions.
entire
I'm sorry.
server is controlled op. Goodbye.
okay?
hold on.
All right. So
Controlled
what I'm
op,
trying
is
to
that what she said?
Yo, what I'm
Go
trying to
ahead.
say though is you have to pretend like you played. They want you to act like they actually want you to play the game. They want you to play the game or act like you played the game and act like it's really good and act like you enjoyed it. It's not just that you play it, it's that you pretend you liked it, you promote it, you try to convince people to go get it. I'm not going to do that. I don't even
Okay.
think video games are good, much less am I going to lie and pretend I played a video game, much less am I going to go play a video game and act like it's really good and try and convince.
Yeah,
I
it's
try
a
to convince
version of
younger people
selling
not to
yourself.
play video games. Yeah, exactly.
I
So I
know,
didn't do that.
but
That's why I brought that up,
asking
was as one of the many examples I could provide of how I actually turned down money
so that I would never feel like I'm selling out. And I didn't feel like I was selling out at all with the blends because I tried them. I was fasting. And when I drank it, I was able to keep fasting and I actually got good results. It gave me energy and curbed my appetite. It worked. The ingredients, there was nothing wrong with the ingredients. It was clean. So I'm like, okay, I could tell people this is a good fasting blend. It actually helps. The electrolyte blends, I never even fasted with electrolytes, only water. And I told people, technically, you can just try to make it yourself. I said there's also apparently like lemon, and you could put Celtic salt and lemon in water and distill water and do it. But if you want to support the channel, this is a good way to do it because I get a cut from this. So it's like instead of you just trying to donate to me, you can actually get a fasting blend. You can be a part of the community fast. And people weren't even just paying for the blend. They were then getting one-on-one access. They were getting like small groups where you got to say, hey, I'm going through this. Hey, I got this far
So
in
do
and
you
it
still
got
have the
hard. Do you have
RV?
suggestions for this? Yes, I
You
still
still
have an
got that
RV.
RV?
Yeah,
Where'd
we're
you
trying to
sell
sell
it?
it right now. We're literally
You
trying to
are
sell it.
really? How much are you
Yeah,
selling it for?
I don't know. They're supposed to appraise it today, ironically, but it's gonna suck and we're upside down, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's how it is when we buy RVs for sure. I've had like 3, 4 RVs, so I get it. And I've done all the work on them myself. So you actually redid the floors on that yourself? Did you redo the roof too, or was it the roof was good?
Are you
The roof was
satisfied,
good.
Jenna? Are you satisfied yet?
I'm not talking to you, Riggs. Go
Yeah,
away.
this is just I need to ask you these questions because right now you're questioning his integrity and you have
No,
been
I was
for a
asking
very
him
long
about his
time.
RV.
I'm going to finish what I'm
That's what I was
saying.
asking.
Yeah, but you're doing it in a very amicable kind of like kind of way, but I just want everyone to know here, I mean, just looking at your channel, you're kind of like attacking him for his integrity at every length of the way, but I'm looking at your channel, it seems like your channel is just entirely about slandering him. I see his face on over a dozen
Past
of
2
your
weeks.
thumbnails.
Yeah, the past 2
And I
weeks.
see
Yeah.
his wife's face on there. I see Witsit spits it.
Yeah,
Truth
they
prevails, proves Witsit
I'm
lies. Well, here's the thing. You can pretend to be nice. You can try to, squeeze a little bit more information out of him for your personal benefit, which it seems you're doing. And after
Yeah,
this
'cause I'm getting
extremely
so much money for
embarrassing
making these videos.
display
Rusted,
of
please stop interrupting him.
trutherism, after this extremely embarrassing display about you and this truth about TFE, are you going to say, okay, you know what? I was wrong. I apologize. And I've been a little piece
No,
of shit.
because I'm not wrong.
You're
I'm a
not,
piece of shit.
you're not going to take these fucking videos down.
Oh,
You have
fuck
no
no.
integrity. So you can be a liar then, and you can just call everyone else a liar. Well, you have no
What
integrity.
am I lying about? Nobody's proved anything. He hasn't
Well,
even.
yeah, exactly.
He
You
hasn't even
haven't
posted
proved
his
anything.
footage. Why don't
Every
you post
fucking
it?
question, everything that you bring forward is garbage. Garbage.
Okay, you want to
And then
cry
you
about
laugh
it?
about it, and now you try to like squeeze more
And now you're
information
gonna
out of
cry
them as if
about
it's
it.
going to prove something else, and it never does. It's never good enough
Okay.
for you.
But no, what would be
So
good
now
is
that
to
you've been
see the data.
absolutely
Let's see the
embarrassed
footage. Let's see the
thoroughly,
footage.
are you
Let's
going to
let.
actually take
Where's
down
Jaren's
all this
footage?
slander?
No, I'm
Is that
not,
what you're going
because
to
I
do?
stand behind it. I stand behind all of it, every single
Well, your
thing.
whole platform is sucking this dude's nuts, and it's all
Well,
wrong.
Okay,
So if you think
okay.
that you built a
bring it down
platform
a
out of
notch,
trutherism,
you guys?
all you've done is
Listen.
suck someone else's nuts and be wrong the whole time.
Okay, well, it's good thing that I don't care what other people think. This is my opinion, and you can't control what I do and do not make videos about and what my opinion is. I know this is a
No, it's
control
okay.
issue for you
Because now
people
the
who want
integrity
to
is your
think.
problem.
No,
Please
let me
don't
How about
finish,
that?
interrupt her.
Riggs.
Riggs,
Don't
please,
interrupt me.
you
You
let
got.
her. Yeah. Or are we going
All I
to allow
gotta.
this? No, you didn't.
I don't
I don't
know.
know
This
if
is
it is
getting a
here
bit.
or
It's
not.
a
This
bit.
is
Well,
intense.
yeah, it
Let me
is.
just
I
finish
agree,
my
but I mean, if
sentence.
we're gonna go through it though, Rusted, hold on. You have spent hours saying a lot of these things. I mean, at least like, I mean, unless
Okay,
we're
let me
trying not to
finish
do
my
like
sentence
any.
and I'll
Hold
go.
on, we're not trying like no like egregious attacks and insults. However, like it is getting heated. But I mean, Riggs should be able to have the mic for a minute to speak, right? You've said all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
I get
You're
it.
just
That's fine.
interrupting and talking over
He
me.
asked me a question, and now I'm responding, and then I'll be done and I'll leave because it's late. I gotta go to bed anyways. So my only point is this whole thing, it seems like a control freak issue. Like all of you people want to control how other people think and how they look at your footage. And because they're not looking at it the way that you want them to look at it, now we're deemed as anti-truthers, as these schizophrenics, as all these insults that you threw out. I did not call you a schizophrenic, anything, whatever. Not until I only started making videos after you started attacking me for pointing out obvious to me that's obvious. So whatever. You can hate me, you can call me whatever you want. I really don't care. So you guys
Okay,
have a
well, let me
good
say one more
night.
thing. Let me say one last
Have
thing to you.
fun.
Let me say that it isn't just your opinions. You make definitive, accusatory, slanderous claims, right? For example, you claim my wife's a therapist and that we offered marriage counseling, both a lie. You act like I offered
It was
therapy, not true at all. That's objectively not true at all. My wife wasn't even involved with any of that. My wife isn't a therapist. We didn't offer any type of counseling for couples, and that's literally just a made up lie. You just made it up. And I never offered any counseling. But the person that sold the blends, he is a therapist. He does emotional tap therapy. I told you all about it at the
yeah.
time. There are many different examples like that where you basically claimed I was sponsored by Nike. You claimed that I actually
I
grifted off of
asked
the
you.
blend. You claimed that I
Asked
grifted
you.
off the blends. You made the claim. No. You
I
said,
did. I said, "Are you sponsored
listen.
by Nike?"
In
Was the
your
question.
videos, you say that we offered couples counseling. That
Was
is
the
just a made
title
up
of your
lie.
video was how to deal, or maybe not how to deal. It said trauma, relationships, and some other stuff in the title of your video, okay? And then you sold the life reset program that was on your website that you promoted. It was $33, $3, and $11. All of these things led me to believe that if I signed up for these things, you would be life coaching me, which does include relationships. It was on your thumbnail. So
See,
sorry
and
if
this is
that's
how I
not.
know
And then there was a
you're
time,
actually a
the
liar, right?
information
Because
about your
you know
wife.
you're
Wait, let me
lying right
finish.
now.
Let me finish about the information about your wife. So the reason why I thought she was a therapist was because there was a couple different people that had mentioned. I haven't listened to all of your live streams, but they were people that are in our group that have been listening to you for a very long time, and said in one of your live streams at the end when you were like asking to donate and something, you were saying, "Oh yeah, like your wife's in it was either school for therapy or doing something for therapy, maybe, or maybe
No,
maybe I'm mistaken, but that was what
you're
I'd heard."
always
So you're
mistaken.
right, that wasn't,
So,
I didn't have in paper for sure that she was a therapist. So my bad for saying that.
no,
I
and you
will
claim that
retract that.
we offered counseling therapy. My
I
wife
didn't
has
say
never
we, I
done
said
any.
you. I said
You
you
said
offered on
you
your website
guys,
the
you've
life
claimed that
reset.
my
Okay.
wife and me offered couples therapy. That's
I
what
didn't
you
say
said.
couples
It
therapy.
isn't
You
true.
and your wife didn't do couples
Yes,
therapy. I didn't say that.
you
I said,
did.
okay, dude,
Yes,
whatever.
you
People can go
did.
back
Okay,
and
so
listen to whatever they want. I
and
don't
so
care.
okay, this is the last thing I want to say. This is exactly the problem, right? She's saying, I think someone that listened to you for a long time said that at the end
I
of
trusted
the
them.
stream
Yeah,
one time that they said something like she went to school for therapy or was going. It's like that's the level of research that you do. And when
it
you
is
invest
totally.
the amount of
Hmm.
time it takes to obsessively put out videos for weeks, so you can't really claim you just don't have time, right? You have lists and narratives and claims and make all these videos. You can't do basic level research before you talk about other people and make slanderous claims about them. And then when someone that person then corrects you, like I did the first time we talked in here like a week or two or whenever it was ago, right? Instead of showing integrity, you continue to just spew them and say them as if they're definitive facts. So the only reason I was even involved in this at all was supposedly it was going to be some evidence that TFE was fake, and what it turned out to be was a bunch of fallacies, a bunch of like implicit personal attacks, conjecture, appeals to incredulity, whataboutism, and it's all just very flawed logically, and it's very poor research, right? And so what. This is the last thing I'm going to say, and this is the obvious truth here is for one, it kind of gives people an avenue to pretend that they're the ones that really discovered like the major 5G chess. Trust me, bro. I'm the super truther. I'm the only one that can really see
You're
what's
the
going on. I
trusted
figured it
grower.
out. And no, that's you. You're the one that always figures out the real big secret,
Always, I've only
and
been
you're the
making
super
videos for a couple
truther.
weeks lately, so
It's like
I'm always making
RV,
videos.
RV truth. But like I didn't say that. You're always in here. You're always doing that.
I'm
That's what you
always
always
in
do. That's
here.
like your
Gio, am I always
dude,
in here?
dude, dude. I didn't say no. You're all when you're in here, you're doing that. You're always doing that. That's your thing. Okay. And
It's called a
secondly,
truther.
the biggest part, no, it's no. Truthers don't say, I trusted someone. I think they said this. Let me put in a video and act like I know it for a fact, then refuse to take it down when I'm debunked. That's not what truthers do. And then this is the part that's most important is when these people have now gone out so far on a limb
to claim that they know that things were faked. And it doesn't matter that they have this big preponderance of evidence, this long list, and they're just getting chipped and debunked. Instead of being like, damn, I was saying that the preponderance of evidence suggests it isn't real. Instead of being like, well, damn, clearly my whole list is getting destroyed. They've put their ego out. They've attached their ego to it, like their whole credibility in terms of discernment. So they
It's a
go
good
down
thing
with
I
the
don't give a
ship. So
fuck.
the reality is, well, I think that is probably pretty clearly true, to put things out
Yeah,
that are so
I really
poorly
don't care what other
researched.
people think.
Yeah, to have
I really don't.
no standard of what you put out in terms of what is true, and you admitted to Geo, it's just
People
basically because
can
it's like
go.
this drama.
People can
So
go and
look, I'm
listen
just going to
to
finish
your
what I'm
words
saying
for
here. I'm
themselves.
encouraging everyone else, not Rusted. Rusted will obviously go down with the ship, but to other people,
Hell
if
yeah.
you said
I'll
it
be
was
playing the
fake or
fucking
whatever,
violin for
it's
you the
like
whole way down
if
too.
yeah, for sure, you're gonna take me down. So
No, I'll
what I
play
want
the
the room to
violin
know,
while the ship's
but
going down. I'll be
like,
there.
yeah,
I'll be dancing
cool,
on Bob's grave with his tongue hanging
cool.
out.
Oh, dude, and you're making
Anyways,
fun of
Did
good
someone
you,
night.
dying,
Rusted
dude.
Soul, did you seriously just say that?
Dude,
How
Bob
can you,
faked his
like,
death.
are you
He's
serious?
not even dead.
I
You guys
get
are.
you.
He's not even dead.
I
You guys
get
are
you.
so.
Rusted. Are you okay? You know what? That's fine. Is there any more questions? Like, I mean, that's
And by the
just
way,
No,
this is
I'm
why I
I'm
called her
done.
schizophrenic.
I have a
This is why I
wow.
question.
Did
called her
you actually
schizophrenic
spit
the
on your
first.
wife, or did that not happen?
Rusted Soul.
No,
I mean,
actually, this is why I
Then why is it
actually.
in the police report?
This is why I see now you're full blown spiraling, and this is why I actually
I'm
called
spiraling?
her schizophrenic. This is why I called her schizophrenic the first
I know,
time,
but we
because
shouldn't
she.
we shouldn't be labeling people like that anyways. I understand, and this is like not acceptable behavior. This is why I'm speaking right now.
Hitting
Like
on people
that
is not acceptable behavior.
I
Right.
didn't.
Look, if you say that someone's dead and that they're not dead, excuse me, and I'm sorry for even talking about this, but do you have any kind of idea who Bob is now or where he's at? Because you've always brought this up without any supporting anything. So support it if you're going to say something bullshit like that.
She made the
It's a
comment about
theory
his
I
tongue
have.
because
Maybe
I
if
told
everybody
her
in
I
the
saw
community
him.
entertained it, maybe if everybody in the community entertained it, we would have some Bob
I
spottings. I don't
entertain
know.
this I entertain this all the time, but you
Hey, I
literally
think
have
Mad
nothing
Mike
to support
faked his
the idea.
death.
Is that
I
correct?
think Skiba faked his death. I think all of these big characters that were on the news
Based
and
on
on this
what?
stuff faked their death. Based on the fact that the news is bullshit and how many other crisis actors out there have faked their deaths. I mean, come on,
Okay, so
have you
everyone's
seen the news? So yeah,
faked
if
their
you're on the
death then.
news, like Mad
Everyone.
Mike was on the
Okay.
news, he faked his death. Bob, who was the head of FE Core, who did a whole bunch of
So
Wow.
bullshit on the whole community
How
for many
dare
years.
you?
How
How dare
dare I?
you?
How
How dare
dare
you?
I?
You
okay.
literally
How
have
dare I?
no
How
anything.
You
dare I?
guys. Okay. Is there any more questions related to TFE or what's the right now?
Yeah, well, I have a question to Austin about if we could get some clarification on what his thoughts was about the blurred lines in the footage, the second footage, because there was this primary footage where there's like clearly lines and like seams that we kind of explained, like, and then in the next footage after, where some of us claimed it was been edited or messed with. They had blurred it out, and I just wanted to have clarification about what your thoughts about that in general. And
Yeah. Can
yeah.
you kind of like repeat the exact thing you're talking about? Because my wife was just saying something to me. Like what was the exact
Sure.
thing that you said?
Right, but there's like I don't know if I should call it artifacts. I don't know the specific term, right? But it's like there's certain lines in the image that's like would represent the image being somewhat fake and not natural. And
That's
that's like
super
crossing
vague.
lines. Yeah,
It was
I guess,
the one we were
to some
talking
point,
about.
but
It was the video we were talking about. What's it on your channel? The 1 hour and 13-minute video. That the original was scrubbed, and then you had the lines with that we talked about earlier. That's what he's asking about.
And why do people keep saying the original was scrubbed? I don't know what that. All I know about the hour-long video is that Sam took the video because we wanted it in higher resolution, and he made it
an hour long, and I gave them temporary access to upload the video. Sam had some issues because he used Adobe. There was one point the entire mountain was jiggling. There was another time there was this big giant yellow line that went through the middle of it or something like that. So when he was trying to export and render through Adobe, it was inputting random artifacts. I have all the raw footage, and I intend on having it where you can just download it yourself and you can look at all of it. You can download it in little like 20 gigabyte like files or whatever, because it's broken up into 52 things. I don't anything that's there, it's an artifact coming from the programs once they were rendered, because when you look at the videos in their raw form, like the actual files that I have, you don't see any artifacts anywhere other than right where the cameras, of course, stitched together from the 360 camera. So if you guys actually
Alright,
had
Sam.
experience rendering big files or whatever, or trying to put a 25-hour 4K video down to an hour and render it through Adobe that was 360, if you were able to do that successfully and have no artifacts, then maybe I would understand that you have some point. But in reality, that's something that almost no one's ever even really tried. And I now know how that goes, and it is not easy at all. And you can talk to Sam. I guess he's not in here, but Sam's the one that did it. And I have people imagine just what if what I'm saying is just true. And imagine that a bunch of truthers are working behind the scenes together for like hours and hours and hours, and they're getting a video out, and then they're like, oh my God, Adobe freaking put some stupid artifact in there, and they have to do it again. Or then they missed an artifact because it's happening once they're rendering these big videos. Just imagine that scenario.
And I think that box artifact, it has to do with, for me, it's the stitching software of the 360, because it uses
No,
two
it's not.
cameras.
I looked it up,
Stop! I'm
and that's
talking,
like
Russell. Why are you
it's
talking when
30
I'm
feet.
asking Winston? Why are you talking when I'm asking Winston a question, dude?
I just
Like, what the hell?
posted it
Now,
that it's
I'm
not on the screen.
asking Witsit a question. Would you please stop? Thank you. Witsit. Well, I would imagine, because it's two. Is it a two camera 360?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has to use some kind of way to stitch both things together, so it uses a box.
You can show yourself if you go watch his video that stitching part is about 40 feet, I'm guessing, assuming, but to the left of the camera. So it's not where the line is.
It's a 3D
I don't
rendering
even know. I'll be honest with you
box.
guys. I don't even know, right? Like, I don't like,
I'll
because I
post
don't
it
even,
in
I
the
didn't
chat.
watch all those videos. What I did was I saw a lot of the footage, but like in its raw form, you know what I'm saying? And then I had other people help me freaking get it rendered. But what I did learn is that each different video software does it differently when it comes to the Insta360 camera. They really make it where you have to use their app. And if you try to use Adobe, which is like top end, right? I mean, freaking movies and documentaries use Adobe Premiere, right? Like, it totally drops the ball and puts all kinds of artifacts in the video. Someone else was using something else. I don't remember what it was. And then depending on the player you use, VLC or whatever, YouTube has a built-in 360 function, but sometimes the actual video in, say, through Adobe, then you put it in YouTube, it freaking adds artifacts. Like, it is an entire process getting it from the actual 360 onto the app, off that app, and then through something else to put all the files together, and then render it, export it, upload, process it, publish it on YouTube. It's been a freaking nightmare. It's been a nightmare.
But seriously, Elbow, go watch the footage on Witsit's channel and find where that camera is and where that mountain meet, and see that the seam is not where that line is.
What I could do right now is so is it there the entire video?
I'm not sure. At 52 minutes in was what the video of the guy showing it, so that's what I went to. And then I know that QOP did scroll around in different parts and found other stuff in different areas. I'm not sure if it was at the same timestamp or different timestamps. He would have to be in here to specify, because he did more of that, because I don't have a good enough
Anyway, the
screen.
point I'm making is I could technically share my screen and I can pull up the actual like raw video files through the Insta360 app, which is it's hands down the best one, right? And for any period of the 52, and you're going to see that it's actually like incredible
pristine condition. Now, when you actually want to get it on YouTube, for example, they have a 256 gigabyte limit. They have supposedly a 12-hour limit, even though I don't understand how, because there's longer videos on YouTube, but they have a 256 gigabyte limit. So you have to make sure that it's more than that. So you have to decrease resolution. You have to figure out how you're going to get the video to be small enough to actually get it uploaded. But I am trying to get this website out where each individual person can go and download, and I guarantee you we're going to get a bunch of crickets. Right? As soon as the people have all the videos where they can download it and they actually try to do it, they go spend the time and they start overloading their machine trying to actually download the videos. They're going to be like, damn, that's what's going to happen. That's what's happened. I had people that are like, where's the videos? What's taking so long? I'm like, you know what? You want to help me do it? And then 3 days later, they're like, oh my God, this is insane. I should get paid to do this. Okay. So if there's a
You do get
specific
paid to do
timestamp,
this.
dude, you don't seem capable of listening. Okay. I said when someone else then wanted to do it, 3 days later, they would say, dang, I should get paid to do this. I didn't say anything about me getting paid to do anything. Okay. And of course, I
I
told the
know.
guy who did it, I said, okay, you can get the money from the video if it makes any money on YouTube. Yeah, I'm such a
See, so
grifter.
you're gonna pay people to help you? Yeah, right. Everyone's like lining up to give you money and super chat you, even when they hate you.
Is
They
that what it's
super chat
really
you
about? You're
300
just
bucks.
like you're just salty that like some people donate to my
No,
channel,
I just
or is it
think
that, or is it
I
more
think it's
that
a
you're like
money
held?
laundering
Have
scheme.
you ever seen Hey Arnold?
I think it's a money laundering scheme. I think that
You remind me of Helga.
$300 from people that hate you, like there's no way that these super chats, everybody passing money back and forth to each other like this isn't some sort of a money laundering scheme.
Oh, it's
100%.
a money laundering scheme where
Yeah,
YouTube takes
that's what
30%
FE
of it.
Core was doing too.
Okay,
That's
so now
Oh
we're
my
at the point of accusing of money laundering for playing
Yeah.
super chats. Are you
Oh, yeah.
okay? Well, this is interesting. This doesn't really go to TFE, and I thought that's what this was predominantly about. So, are we gonna get back to that, or are we gonna entertain
It
it?
is, and Rustin knows she has no real like she this is all slander technically,
I
right?
know, and
But
that's
like I'm just not the
Slander.
person that
yeah.
would ever sue someone. Although in a way, you totally deserve to have to be brought into
Bring it.
court and sit there
Bring
with
it,
a
because
straight.
this would be hilarious in the court to see them
It would,
see
yes.
the jury watch all of your footage of you lying and contradicting yourself, and then have them. They're not gonna do. You're not gonna take it that far because you know that you're wrong. Just like FE Core had to close down their doors because they were doing fraudulent shit and they know it, and you know it too. So you
See,
can sit
that's just
here and
totally not
play this
true at
game
all.
like you
So,
don't know what I'm
okay, how about
talking
this? How about
about, but
this?
you
Do
know
you have?
damn well because you
I'll
took
tell
over
my
Bob's
attorney to
position.
sue you.
He trained
I'll tell my
you.
attorney to sue you.
All
I'll tell
right,
my
cool.
attorney to sue
Bring
you.
it.
You're all tough right now, but watch what's going to happen. You're going to walk back all the claims. For those who don't know, this is how slander works, right? When you make a public claim against someone that isn't true and it's slanderous, once you're then told and shown that it's incorrect, like every single thing that she's
How did
uttered
you
so
pay for your
far,
RV, rich boy?
I borrowed money from my
That's
friend
a pretty
Chris,
nice
and
fucking
then
RV you had there, and a pretty
no,
nice
it's
Jeep. How'd you
you
pay
see
for
how
that shit after
she's
you just went
spiraling. She's
around
spiraling. You're
traveling
totally
around?
spiraling. You're spiraling. You're like Helga. Okay. Me and my wife split the down payment. We both had to borrow money for our part of the down payment and then pay it back. And we got a down payment. You say it's really nice. It's 2011 and it had to have tons of work done to it. And we got there, the windows were broken and the chairs were falling apart. It's so nice that we had to renovate the whole thing ourselves. You have no idea what you're talking about. Ever. Never. Okay. But this is how slander works. When you make a
Where's
claim
the
that isn't
footage from that?
true, when you make a
Why
claim that
wouldn't you
isn't true,
record you doing all
oh,
this
calm
work?
down. Because what? Why
No,
would
why
I
wouldn't you
record? Why
record it?
would?
Are you
Dude,
Rusted,
running
for how much?
why do you
Come
keep yelling
No,
over
where's the
him?
footage?
Okay, but
Where's the
this is.
footage?
Oh my goodness,
Where's the
Okay,
Rusted.
footage?
by the way, we do have before and after pictures of the RV, right? Like who
Yeah,
records
let's see it.
themselves over the course of,
Dude,
okay?
so many channels
Okay.
do that. RV
Yeah,
renovations,
but
so
Does
many.
he
but
in
And for
the
how
you're
much
RV
you like,
renovation
you're
work?
dude, but
interrupting.
if he's really
Exactly.
doing
Like
the work, he would be proud of it and he
yeah.
would be posting videos going, look at
No.
me
So that's
redoing
what
the
you would
floor.
do.
You're just
Maybe
Look
you're
at
you're
Okay,
just
projecting that you're a
digging.
Everyone
narcissist.
stop.
hey, you
Everyone
guys.
stop. Stop. This is audio
I just don't
chaos.
believe anything he says. So I don't believe
Stop.
that
Rusted
he redid the RV.
Soul. Moderation is taking place. Why do you
What's it?
continuously talk over
Stop for a
everybody?
second.
You need to
Listen.
relax.
Hold on, wait.
Listen.
Did you take a shit today?
Elbow, shut.
Did you
Yeah.
record yourself taking a shit?
Look,
No.
Rusted, if you're gonna keep asking questions and then in the middle of his answer you just ask another question, there's no point in asking the question in the first place. It makes no sense. So just if you're
Correct.
gonna ask a question, don't just keep throwing questions at him. Where's the RV footage? And he's explaining that. Okay, where's this? While he's explaining the question that you asked, he's answering your questions. Just give him time to answer them, or don't ask so many questions. Just stop interrupting. Just stop.
So it is funny because Kai kept on saying that we should do that. She kept saying we should film it. She was showing me these other videos because we were looking up how to do certain things, and I'm like, that's super gay. I'm not trying to film and spend all the time to film and edit and put out videos about our RV when it's a super saturated, like normie filled on
But
YouTube.
you
So I
did do
didn't do
that.
that.
You did do
No,
that
the
though. You
only
made a really cringy video, you and her going around. It was like it was so bad. People go back and watch it. It's funny. If you want to laugh, go watch the RV video where they did an RV tour.
All right, this should stop. Gio, you said you didn't want this to
Yeah,
be a slander
well, so
fest. This is
Rusted.
just slander. This is
Yeah,
all
let
just
me just
slander.
ask.
It's
Hold
really-
on, Rust. Yeah, let me jump in real quick. Hold on. Let me unmute her. Rusted, you agreed at the beginning not to do this, and now you're just been doing it. So does
Well,
your
I
word
got
just
attacked, so
not?
I'm giving the energy right back that I'm given to,
No,
and I'm
but
the only one left in here. And you can't say that somebody that I wasn't getting dished out, that people weren't giving it to me too, like Riggs and Witsit also. But yeah, Witsit was rightfully so because I was dishing it out with him too in my videos, not in here, but in my videos I have been. So if anybody has room to say shit, it is him right now. But Riggs definitely doesn't, and Elbow doesn't, and I don't understand why all these other people have to be in here jumping on me the whole time when I'm the only anti-truther left in here other than Josh Paradise. So
Yeah,
All right,
no, I'm not
can I just
jumping
address
on
this?
you.
Let
I
me
just
address
want
something. I just want
less
to show how
audio
funny.
chaos.
Real fast. Think
I
about how
don't
funny this
believe
is,
you
right? So
ate
look, we
today,
did.
though.
Check this out. Check this out. We did make a video, right? Because Kai really wanted to. Like I said, so like she wanted to like document the whole thing and like maybe make a channel and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I think it's super cringe, and you have to like script it and edit. I think it's gay and cringe. And she talked me into, and I did it begrudgingly, right? We made that one little short video where we kind of show the after, like our final work or whatever of the RV, right? So this is why wouldn't you do that? Everyone would do that. Why didn't you do that? I explained because I think it's lame and gay and cringe, and actually, ironically, Kai wanted to do it, and then you jump in with your rebuttal, which is you did do that. Everyone should go check it out. It's super cringe. Yes, it is cringe because I think it's lame to like go through and be like, hey, here's where we sleep and show what we did. We were kind of proud of how much work we put into it because the before and after is pretty crazy, and so we made the one video. It was all super weird though and hyper obsessive with my personal life going back years, and that's why I called you Helga. You're like the Hey
how much
Arnold character that pretends to hate Arnold, but knows every single detail about his
how much
life,
did you
right?
pay
And
for the
it's
RV?
super creepy and weird and parasocial.
How much did you pay for the RV?
Dude, what would it possibly matter?
I just want to
What
know.
world do you think?
I've owned
Whoa,
4
Rusted. What
RVs.
does this have to do
No,
with TFE? What does this have to do with
I've
anything?
owned
Why
I've
are you
owned 4
asking like
RVs.
you
I'm
might
just
as well?
wondering,
Okay,
why are
but
you talking when it's me and Witsit? I asked him a
well,
question. Can
because
he answer,
I'm
please?
moderating. Now, I don't think it's relevant to if he wants to answer it, but I
No,
thought
like what world
again,
do you
this
think I
was
have to tell
supposed
you
to
all my
be
personal
I'm
information all the
into
time?
RVs.
exactly.
I've owned 4 RVs. I'm into RVs. How much did you pay for it? I know the one that you have, even though it's 2011, was expensive as fuck. It's got pop outs. It looks like it's got a nice paint job. Like it's a nice RV. Like tell
It's
me
like it was
or
like
don't tell
40. It was
me.
like 40k. Had 15,000 miles on it. 2011 Fleetwood Bounder,
That's perfect. Thank you. You see, I actually guessed 50K. I was like, I bet you they paid around 50K for it. So you got a deal. Good job. Hopefully you
which
get
is why
what,
we got it.
some of
Yeah.
what you put into it and when you try and sell it. But also noticed in the video, she made a point about, oh, it was either this, like either we go and do like a wedding and spend all this money for like one night, or we, get this RV and spend, a month in it. I mean, I don't know, 40K on an RV, like my opinion, and then
What?
however
That's not
much the
what
Jeep
you didn't
was and
even
the other stuff,
understand
like,
it. No,
why
you
wouldn't you
didn't
put
even
that down on a
understand it.
house? Like, there's so many other things. Like,
You.
my house costs 40 grand.
Oh my
Well,
30
God!
grand.
Look at
okay,
this person,
Rusted,
So
just
Rusted
insane.
I'm
Soul.
just
Like,
saying.
should we?
No,
No,
can I finish what I'm saying? You
well,
guys
I
are
don't
literally.
really. Yeah,
I
but
wasn't
Rusted,
even done with
you're
my
going
sentence, and
on
you're jumping
about
on me.
the
I wasn't done with my
personal
You
sentence.
lack
I'm
the
not
aspect
self
allowed to
of
awareness to
respond.
see that you sound like really creepy and like obsessed with me.
No, I'm saying you couldn't do something better with 40K than to buy like I bought my RVs for fucking 10 grand, dude. Like and they
Yeah,
ran and
okay. I
like
don't care. The
Okay,
difference is I
I'm
couldn't
just
care
saying,
less
all I'm
about it.
saying is that you were bragging about being like so frugal, but like you go and like
What?
where do you
Yeah,
get 40
instead of
grand to
buying
do
an
that? Like that's
expensive,
insane.
let me
People
let me
don't
help you
usually
out.
just
Let me help
get
you out.
40
I'll enlighten
grand.
you. I'll
Okay.
enlighten you. We didn't pay
Yes.
for the RV in cash, hence me saying we were upside down. So no one just goes and gets 40 grand. We didn't have 40 grand. Okay. I even explained we had to borrow for the down payment. We got a good deal in general, though, because it required a lot of work and we wanted to travel. We wanted to be able to travel so we could live in it. We could travel. I had just traveled the whole US during the tour. And I'm like, I know how to do it. I know how RV parks work. I know how RVs work. I can probably keep it running. We thought it would be cool for us to get to travel throughout the whole United States. She just got pregnant very quickly, and it kind of threw a wrench. We didn't know she was going to get pregnant that fast. Whenever we made the comment about, she made the comment about instead of spending all this money on a wedding and stuff, what we're talking about is we actually got a really nice RV park. It was like bougie for an entire month instead of spending money on our wedding, which we literally just paid for one night at a hotel. They let us use a portion of the beach. We rented some chairs for like $50, and then we just had our friends and our family sit there on the beach and paid like basically nothing for our wedding, right? And then we spent whatever money people tried to give us for our wedding, which wasn't much at all, on the actual RV park for a month, and nothing to do with the RV itself. And then again, she got pregnant. So we're like, dang, we just did all this. And clearly we decided she didn't want to do her whole pregnancy in an RV. So, we had to deal with it. And that's what happened. Your narratives are all stupid and gay. And again,
All right.
it sounds like Helga. Okay, you need to chill,
Okay.
bro.
I'm
It's like
Helga. I'm gonna change
parasocial.
my
I
name
don't
to
know. I
Helga
don't.
Soul.
Yeah, that's right.
I like
You
that.
should. I don't know you.
Helga
I don't
Soul.
know you. I don't know you, dude. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
like,
good luck. I
it's
hope
just
you sell your
weird.
RV. Yeah, I'm super weird. I get that a lot. I'm totally okay with that. Helga Soul, totally changing it. Thank you for that. You have a
Hashtag
good
seeing it.
night. I hope you sell your RV, and I hope you don't take ivermectin because it's poison. Take some garlic and honey and get some rest and lay off the vape. Have a good night.
Yikes.
Holy
Yeah, I think
shit.
she has a crush on me.
That's worse. That's worse than news reporters.
Hey, Austin,
Why
could
didn't
I
you
share
film
two thoughts with
yourself
you?
eating? I eat a lot. A lot of people film themselves eating. Why don't you do it? Was it?
Well, that's
That was
why, dude.
wild.
That was
Okay,
intense.
okay,
to
but
listen
I
to.
don't think we
Oh
should
my god.
mock it after. That's not helpful to the situation at all, in my
Well, we
opinion.
can't
What's the
mock it during
point
the
of that,
time.
though?
I mean, we can't even get
Well,
through
I
the room.
tried to do it at a time, but I got muted. But I mean, I didn't. I wanted her to be here when I did it, but
Well, I know, but
somebody
either
muted me.
way, although it's not super constructive
I mean,
for
because
Donald. But
it's just ridiculous. And even you putting
yeah,
up with it, answering her questions is just, I don't know why you're wasting your time, dude. I would have just brushed it off
Oh,
and
I
said,
I
you
know.
know what,
I
I
go
mean,
to your
tried
own
to
yes.
help
your own.
that out, but I mean, if you guys want to answer it, right, that was what was gonna happen.
Well, here's like a
Well,
good
yeah.
example, right? Like here's a video from her channel. Iceland Air doesn't fly to Antarctica. TFE hoax. Okay, this was 2 weeks ago, and it was a fair point. There's a video from Jaren's camera, and it was behind the seat in the aircraft. It says Iceland Air. I'm like, okay, Iceland going to Antarctica. I literally Google those two things together, and you get the exact business deal and plane that they use. Meanwhile, she's calling the airlines, talking to some dude in, Thailand or whatever the call center is. And they say, oh, we don't have airplanes to go there. Well, look, all you had to do is Google the two words together and you get the exact business deal when they actually, subverted this plane to become the one that goes to Antarctica. And the video's still up. So, like, how much research is she actually doing if all the arguments fall flat on their face every time and she's not willing to take anything down? Like, why are we questioning anyone else's integrity at this point? I just don't get it.
Hey, I want to make a couple comments if you don't mind. I was gonna ask where'd she get the idea that she knew that Jaren presented Stephen Dragon to Witsit, because I recall meeting Chris Pastor in Witsit's Telegram like over the years and going to summits, multiple summits that Jaren and Witsit did. And I was on a call with Chris Pastor talking about marathoning, talking about salt, talking about fasting, and just like performance.
Admission and guilt.
And I'm pretty sure that I was given Steven's number and I talked to him about flat earth, which I think was a glober at first, started watching with his channel a lot, started asking questions about, because he was already kind of a conspiracy theorist, but he hadn't really picked up flat earth. I befriended Steven first, and then I think that they met after. So it could have been me that brought Stephen into the whole picture, because I was a part of that group too with the salt and the fasting, and there were some good things going there, and it was just a a group of people that were thinking about a life reset program to benefit truthers and people that are trying to break away from like the way the world works. Everything's toxic, everything's poison. So we were doing just daily tonics. We were talking. I mean, there's a few of us that were praying together. So here's an example of a situation where another person thinks they know all about it and all the details, all the way to making a slanderous video about how evil and corrupt it must be, where I was a part of it, and I don't want anything to do with darkness. I like connecting with people in good faith and about good topics. And it was a beautiful thing that his wife, Stephen's wife, got pregnant. Everybody got busy. It just kind of fell apart. It's not like Witsit's fault that the Life Reset didn't become like a multi-million-dollar company. We wish it would have, but that's one thing. And another thing, Cami, I met Cami in Vegas in 2023, and she was obviously grieving. I mean, you could just see it on her face. I prayed over her for the loss of Bob. Everybody came around and just loved on her and prayed over her. And if if Bob's alive and Cammy's acting out a grieving, like, this is ridiculous. It just really hurts my heart that people are going to this level just because they don't trust Duffy or because TFE. Last thing, I'll land the plane here. So if Witsit and Jaren didn't go, then they would have been attacked for being fake or grifters or liars or scammers if they didn't go. That was the original thing. So do you remember when they were brave and like we were worried, like, man, they're gonna take you out, don't go. And they're like, no, we got this. Like, we were excited about them going. So they go and they experience a 24-hour sun, which all that is a luminary doing something that we didn't necessarily know it did, except Geo has found a lot of videos since of a 24-hour sun, and like the Zetetic or whatever, the books, a lot of people have talked about it as well. So this luminary in the sky may do something that far away from the North Pole. It doesn't make the Earth not flat anymore, but man, I'm telling you, I think there's a spiritual war going on, and whoever the controller or the Satan is wanting truthers and people that are in this whole thing to find truth and actually reconnect. There's an attempt to have this whole thing implode, and it saddens me. And I'm not going anywhere. I know the world's not a spinning ball in space. I've got much love for so many people, even people that don't think like me, and they don't have the same faith as me. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be upset with you if you don't love Jesus like I do. And then lastly, and I'll end the plane, I know I keep saying that, but I've known Witsit for almost 3 years. Hold on a second, please. And he and Kai welcomed me into their home when I came for the Truth and Freedom Conference. Saw his beautiful children, saw their lovely marriage. All I've seen is an honest guy pursuing truth, sharing truth as he finds it. And what does he get for it? It's not $1 million, and it doesn't look like a lot of friends. So I hate that there's so many haters, but that's my stance. Is we need to chill and keep pursuing truth and stop it with this nonsense.
Much love, bro.
Thanks for letting me say that.
If we're concluding, do you think anyone's going to change their opinions in this debate, essentially? Because it seems like they all just left and are not. Yeah.
I'm still here. I was waiting for my turn to respond a little bit. But it's just I just have some general thoughts to add to the whole situation, and I just think it's healthy to question the ones that you really trust. Like, I trust Austin, and that's at this point I just felt like it could be really healthy for me to make sure that I'm on a steady path, and there's been points in my last couple of years where I've come to realize that I am watching too much and studying too much on these certain topics in a certain way, and much of it has come from Austin, from my side. So I thought it was just at the point of me just starting to question a little bit, and so this was my kind of point of getting to it and joining these other guys, even though I don't agree with necessarily all their criticism. yeah, I do still have some like thoughts about the lighting and the angles and the lines in the pictures and that stuff. I haven't put forth an argument yet, but I'm still up here with them because I'm standing on the side of like still being able to question things, and I think that's healthy. So that's kind of the point where I'm here. And what else? I wanted to bring up two things. First thing is regarding the 360 footage. I thought it was interesting to bring up. I don't know if you guys have seen these newer cinematography stages they've created these last couple, I don't know, 10 years or so. And it's kind of interesting how they put those images together and those scenes in general to make these high quality innovative movies they do nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the ideas I had primarily because I thought maybe that's what could be going on. So I'm still figuring things out. I still have trust in Austin, but I still like think that's it's a good time for me to come up here and ask questions myself at some point because I haven't been able to talk to you directly either. So, and I don't want to be like some of the others, like not showing their faces and their real names. So here I am showing both my face and my real name, just getting out there.
Well, respect. Yeah, so you're saying you're on the fence with it being faked, and you think that if it was faked, it'd be in like a 360 type of video or studio thing?
Yeah. I'm not calling you liars specifically, right? I'm just more thinking like I don't know exactly what's going on, kind of.
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously that's the necessary implication, but it's all good. Like, I mean, have you looked into like the behind the scenes, like GoPro stuff? Have you seen all that?
Yeah, a bit of it, but not enough. I haven't gone deep into it enough.
Yeah, so that's going to be your answer, right? Like, I have delayed putting out this site, which is going to have tons of stuff in it. That's going to kind of shut it down definitively. But if you even just go look at the 5-hour GoPro behind the scene footage of Jaren, like it just becomes abundantly clear that it was real. And there's all kinds of live streams and footage of that area that people are claiming is a studio. Right. And so you can just like, if you actually watch the stuff, almost all the claimed evidence that it's fake, all of it's easily disproven if you actually go look into it. That's why every time you'll hear one of these people make the claim, like you never see anyone's breath at that second location where it's a studio. It's like, that isn't true. There are multiple live streams that were done there, and you see people's breath every time they go over to the shade by the building, you see their breath. So that's just like really poor research, right? So anyway, that's what I would say. I would say go to in my opinion, I'm just saying, I actually watched through that 5 hours of Jaren's video because I was curious, like to watch the trip basically. And it's very obvious that the trip is just real. But you also have to think about it like this. It's like, okay, it's 2025, it was the end of 2024, and technology's crazy now, right? Like we've discovered all kinds of stuff with when we started looking into it with Odd at NASA and stuff like that. Like they can edit live streams. Like they can have like virtual reality live now, right? So there would be nothing that we could have, if it was just real and legit, no matter what we did, they could have just said it was fake because technology is starting to get so good, and then there's AI and stuff, right?
Right.
So you can see
I get that.
it's slippery slope where it's like really, if you just want to believe it's fake, then you're going to be able to come up with some possible way that it was fake. Whereas if you think about it, and I think I saw Kai's up here too, but like, I mean, dude, we filmed Punta Arenas. We did live streams. We filmed us getting on the plane, filmed us on the plane, filmed us landing, time lapsed the flight, filmed us right when we got off the plane, filmed us getting on the car that takes us to the camp. Then we did live streams at the camp, and then we're doing live streams in Antarctica, interacting with the chat live, doing things that they're asking us to do, debunking the claims it's fake live based on what people are asking us to do. Did everything we could. We all sit in a room brainstorming, okay, what can we do to show them that it's real? Then we get back, and now people come up with a whole new list of things that we should have supposedly done, but we were doing everything that people came up with while we were there. And so then we have all the live streams at the location, all the GoPro footage from behind the scenes, different videos from the phones. We have drone footage. We have drone on the live stream, simultaneous live streams from different angles with the drone. You know, it's like, what the hell? And we tried to do a continuous live stream tracking the sun, and the phone crashed. Right, the stream crashed at like I don't remember, a few hours, but. So anyway, I mean, I would say at the least go look at everything that is already publicly available. That's like the safest bet, because if it just like technically it could have been faked, well, yeah, you could say that no matter what, right? I mean, like, it's 2024.
Right. I just want to feel like, you know, that at least I look at all these footage, you know, and try to identify those things myself if I feel like I'm finding something, right?
Well,
And
you can cross-reference it to all the other footage that exists. Like, I'll give you a few things. For example, like in 2021, like December 2021, there was a solar eclipse, and there's like 360 footage of it, and there's just like high definition, and it looks like they're actually, for that setup, I think they're actually probably in the same camp that you guys were at, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like the footage, because you know how they're kind of looking to the left of Mount Rossman, and then there is that one little blue building, and then they have all their cameras lined up. I'm pretty sure they were in the same camp as you guys were, you know, out at that second spot for that actual eclipse footage. So even to the point where, remember, I was zooming in when I first found that footage like months ago, and I was zooming in and I was like, oh, well, you should be able to see the camp right over here at the base of the mountain. I was zooming in and I couldn't see it. And I didn't really say that that was necessarily evidence of anything for sure. However, I was like, oh, I wonder why we can't see it. But now when you guys showed the footage, which is, I mean, I think you guys brought back tons of better footage, and I've seen a ton of footage from Union Glacier myself. So like, you guys, I would give it like a 10 out of 10 in terms of just like new, like bunch of great stuff. Like if you're in the movie, as it were, of watching, what I mean by it's just like, if you're going through and looking at all of the, you know, just imagining it like a movie where you're looking at all the different footages is what I'm saying. When you guys went, it was just like, oh, how would I score that? It's like 10 out of 10 in terms of the level of high definition and all the more footage you guys got. Like from that, the site I'm saying they did it for the eclipse, you guys were actually there, in and out of that building, getting more footage all around it. And then, like I was saying, that when the vehicle drove away, and thankfully that camera was able to see it, you could see how far the vehicle went, and then how it went over the horizon, as it were, quote unquote, like because of the hills or the difference in elevation. So now that makes sense that in the eclipse footage, that's why you couldn't see it, because it is like, you know, out of view, you know, from that site, which you guys verified with the truck driving away. So anyways, I mean, that's just one thing to look at, is the eclipse footage from 2021. And then there's a bunch of other footage as well from so many people that have been there. So, I mean, you can cross-reference all of that with their trip. And I mean, from everything I've seen, it all matches in terms of that site and the consistency of it. You know, just in terms of the whole area there and what the sun does there, and like the entire site itself matches with all the other footages that you can cross-reference as well in terms of other people that have been there.
For sure.
I agree. I agree. Like with the points you had, and like I'm gonna continue looking at those things, and you know, try to see what you guys are seeing. And I just want to say I respect y'all for having us on, and thank you for all your, you know, your answers with it. And I just want to end on a question regarding a completely different thing, if that's all right. And it's I'm thinking of I don't know when, if it was 2021 or 2022, or but you were having some stuff going on with Audent NASA, and I just wanted to ask you, you know, what that thing was about, because I was kind of getting a little bit excited, and I just didn't feel like I understood what, you know, happened to it.
Yeah. So, well, I tried to get everyone to come together and help with that, and uh, I mean, some people did, but I mean, I guess it could have been slightly more organized. We were trying to have meetings and stuff, but what happened was I paid for that domain like 5 years in advance. It was very expensive. And I paid for the website package to build it. I built the whole website. And then we paid for like a platform that's supposed to allow like teams to all come and work on it. And I was paying for all the stuff out of pocket. At one point, I was like, okay, I can't just pay for all this. There was some money donated. It didn't even cover what had already been spent, and so it was just
a situation where like I literally didn't have the time and money out of pocket to make it to keep it running. Like it cost me money that I didn't have. I thought that people would kind of rally around it more. And I was hoping that more people would like cooperate. Basically, out of the entire group, I'm the only one that actually went into a NASA facility and interviewed astronauts undercover. And I have like a couple, I think 3 interactions documented, but I'm the only one that did that. So like I'm spending the money to pay for everything. I'm organizing the meetings, leading meetings, answering all the DMs, having to run the whole thing. And then out of all that, I'm the only one that actually went in like boots on the ground to try to do what we were supposed to be doing. So I was like, okay, I got to put this on pause. Like this is not sustainable. I was just rather disappointed with the
What
community's
what was the cost? The main cost was the domain, or did I mishear that?
Yeah, 5 years of the domain and the website builder, right? Like so to host it, to protect it, and because it was gonna immediately got attacked, obviously. So we got the highest security, the website builder, and the whatever has many hundreds of dollars. And then there was like some um I can't remember exactly how many it was, many hundreds of dollars. I have the receipt somewhere. And then there was the actual, we did 2 different platforms that we were trying to use. One of them was, I think, Kajabi. Um, there's a couple other ones that you'll get like a trial, and then there's like a pretty expensive monthly fee to run it, where everyone could come and work together. So it's like a platform where you're able to store tons of files. So, if you've ever looked into that, you have like storage limits based on the different package that you get and blah, blah, blah. So it's a place where everyone can come and work like behind the scenes, where we're able to share all the documents and share all the footage and all the FOIA requests and work on everything. And so we tried a couple of those out. We had another person trying to help build one, so we paid for that. We had a few expenses, that plugins and stuff we were having to pay. So what ended up happening was there were just tons of monthly charges that were accruing to run it all. And it was just coming out of pocket. Like I couldn't do it. So it was going to be an ongoing thing is the point I'm like at. So it was going to be like however many hundreds of dollars a month to keep Audit NASA going. And I couldn't pay that. Like I couldn't just do that out of pocket and then spend the tons of hours. And then I realized basically I'm asking people to treat it like a job, and people just can't. Like people can't invest that much time and energy into something as if it's a job. I was trying to run it really professionally. No one's allowed to talk about flat Earth. It's for both sides. So I thought the Globers would help. That didn't happen at all. Obviously, they all just sabotaged it and flooded it with all kinds of crazy messages and tried to get it shut down over and over. But yeah, now I'm like, I do still want to pop it back up, but I just now know from experience, like it'll have to be completely different, right? Like, I guess the domain's already paid for. I paid for even the website thing, so it should still be up and running right now. I paid for a lot of that in advance. We would have to find like some type of platform everyone can come in and log in and share different files and documents and communicate and have subgroups and meetings and tasks and all that, which is a whole saturated market. But those things are expensive, man. Like to basically like run your online business and have teams that can work and coordinate together. There are a few primary people, they charge a lot of money for that monthly. We would have to come up with what we're going to use and the best way to house like the actual work that we're doing. And we'd have to have some type of organization, or at least come up with a way that money could get brought in. I did figure out a solution to this though, in terms of like not just sending me money and hoping Austin pay. Like we could just do it with crypto and have a public wallet address, so everything's very transparent. The amount of money that comes in, you can track it through a BitPay card, so the actual money that's spent is all trackable, transparent, publicly available on the blockchain. So if we do pop that back up, I think that's how we would do it. But yeah, that's where I'm at on all that. I mean, there's still a whole website. Like I said, I have behind the scenes. The reason I haven't released the footage is because I know if I release the conversations with the astronauts, they probably won't let me go back in there and do it. Like if it goes viral at all, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Witsit,
anyway,
I
that's
just want to tell y'all thanks and good night. Keep up the good work. Don't let all that other stuff get to you. You're spending too much time defending yourself when you don't have to defend yourself as a man. tell Sky hello, and we love your family, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, brother. I don't know, Kayuna, you want to
Thank
say?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I wanted to
Yeah.
say that I think the topic of people suffering from parasocial relationships is really real. And I have compassion for these people to some extent. And I think that some people have a really hard time when they interact with people on the internet. They think that they know them, they may become obsessed with them. And honestly, it kind of like creeps me out, like hearing people go back and find old personal videos and like you clearly can tell they watched that whole video like multiple times. Like you can really see that like the internet is not like, even though we're all adults, like not everybody should be on the internet. Not everybody can emotionally handle it. And, you know, it's honestly like, I didn't even realize that people like that kind of existed. And now you can kind of see as Witsit's doing more and more stuff, just that these people exist. And, you know, I think that this was maybe helpful. In some ways, though, this is just my own personal opinion. I think actually people suffering with parasocial relationships, I don't know if the solution is to necessarily let them have access to these people because it actually makes them more sick. And like, you know, big celebrities, like I understand now why they don't maybe want to like hang out with fans and stuff because some of their fans like literally can't handle it. And so yeah, sorry if that's not relevant, but I could hear certain people like really just they want Witsit's attention. He's their current obsession, and maybe in the future it'll be somebody else. And I have compassion for whoever that next person is because they may be able to actually find out like where that person lives, and they like who knows what they'll do. But I think that like maybe like it's kind of creepy and it's kind of crazy and it's really like it's kind of funny, but there's like a dark undertone of this that like there are people like this that exist and they can't handle it. And what does that mean? Like right now it's Witsit, but what if it's you next and it's your family? And so I don't know the solution, but it just really made it apparent today that some people that we just interact with, like the question is like, should you interact with those people if they're suffering from parasocial syndrome?
I don't think they should be given a platform. Like, this was ridiculous tonight. Like, almost to the point where it was creepy, like weird. So
Almost.
we definitely need to be, well, it definitely was, but I'm trying to be coy. But with it all Jordy, I mean, I can't believe how you handled it, but you're an inspiration because I wouldn't have done it like that. Like, no way. I'm glad I wasn't on
This is why I kind of stepped away.
Well, let me just mention the thing is, yeah. So QOP was like kept saying in the chat, "Oh, can we do a presentation about TFE and stuff?" And then I said to him, I was like, "Well, yeah, if you want to, submit a ticket thing and put a request of what you want to do." He did send put in the request that they wanted to present about TFE, is it real or is it fake? And I was like very clear. I mean, that whole transcript is in the records and all that stuff. But I was very clear in saying it that like, okay, if they wanted to do it on just the the evidence they claim or the claimed evidences, or just an actual direct thing on it, perhaps we would consider it. I did mention it to you, Austin, and you said, yeah, I mean, let them do it, that kind of thing. As long as it's not, well, I mean, I don't even know if you said that, but I mean, I was saying, yeah, as long as it's not like a whole slander fest thing. So I said that to them. They agreed. QOP agreed. Even Rusted Soul on the live stream here agreed before that it was not going to be a personal thing. She literally said, I agree. Geo said those stipulations that if they want to focus on just the evidences.
Wait, she broke her integrity? I don't believe you.
Okay, but this was addressed during the debate, or when this was going on. I addressed this to her that it was. She said, "Oh, that it wasn't. There was no outline given." I said, "Yeah, but it was supposed to be specifically about TFE and not slander and character assassination." So the fact that she even agreed to that before this even happened in the live stream, because she was, I don't know, I understood that she was saying that she was like unaware that the ticket or whatever queue up had said. Now I don't want to speak for her because she's not here, but that was
What I
the
heard her
impression
say
that I got.
basically was that once something personal was said about her, then she felt like it could be all like gloves off or whatever, even though realistically she had crossed that line before that. But I want to say this though, people need to realize, people need to have some empathy and realize, like, I get that I can be like real assertive, I can trigger people, I have a very triggering personality, blah blah blah. And people get so detached from reality in this internet world, right? But you guys need to realize that you affect other people, right? Like I have a family, for example. So like what do you think that this like crazy obsessive slanderous behavior, what do you think that would do to someone's family, like to their wife or their children or their idea of their children? Like it's creepy, it scares people. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to look into every little detail and then make up all kinds of claims and assumptions about whatever you think that you find and spread it and talk about everybody and obsessively just relentlessly slander them and talk about them and try to find any little
Well,
thing you can about their whole life. Like what, like people don't ever, they're so like it's just the internet world for them, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people are kind of detached from the fact that these are real people behind the screen, bro. Like these are real people with real lives.
Well, that's why I mentioned the, like, even during when that was all happening, I mentioned the paparazzi kind of vibe of it, because that's what like the paparazzi do, like what you just said. They're like usually obsessed. They wait for the person to get out of the car and they're taking pictures and they're asking them questions. You know, if it's Justin Bieber, they'll be like, "Hey, Justin, how was your wedding?" or "How was your this?" And they try to get a little soundbite. And then, yeah, a lot of them do exactly what you're saying too. I'm sure in their, when they go public with whatever, they probably slander and, say some half misinformation, whatever all goes on with that. But it's kind of like a paparazzi consciousness of like a hyper obsession, asking every question in the book, trying to twist anything that can, even in some ways where they might even create like drama by, let's say, I don't know, making videos that say this and that to try to then get the
Like a
response of the person. Yeah,
tabloid kind of thing.
to get the response. Yeah, exactly. The gets into the Hegelian dialectic and, yeah, how that can start to go on. Yeah, but it's like the paparazzi kind of have that whole vibe, and it's not necessarily healthy either. When you see that, it's pretty obvious that like it's not like they're actually like, really impassioned by the work they do and they want to interview them. There's obviously some kind of like an extreme just like focus on them, and then some need to kind of like either twist or kind of represent what they're saying in some way, like some kind of like critic that's always there to try to
Yeah,
get
and
more
what's
Even
clicks by
okay.
kind of feasting on who you are or something. Yeah.
And
even
I wanted to
claiming you
say,
think
oh,
even claiming you think the trip is fake or implying you think it could be faked is technically like would be falling under what you guys are considering slanderous because you'd be implying that these people are lying. So I don't think like people who say Sandy Hook is fake, like Alex Jones, should be considered like slanderous and like you can't say that.
No, I
See,
never said that's
that's not the same
slanderous.
though.
No, I
Josh
never said that.
Paradise
Yeah.
here,
To think it's
he
fake
came in
alone is
here.
not slanderous. Sorry, go ahead.
Josh Paradise in here said that he, is questioning the event, but he's not doing it in a slanderous, accusatory way. He's just more of a curious, on the fence, haven't, not totally sure. That's different.
Right.
That's different
Well,
than making a YouTube channel with 20 videos with husband and wife on there, making entirely inflammatory, accusatory accusations and putting personal information on there. And then when found out to be completely wrong, doubles down and says, "Well, I'm not going to delete it because I don't give a fuck."
This is
yeah,
called
and
the
I
I
think
can
Moten
see
what's
This
how
is called
happened
the Moten
is
Bailey fallacy, by the way.
we've been so used to seeing Globers do it, and like it's actually the parasocial, like it goes on both sides, right? It's flat Earth and Globers, and we saw it on the Glober side, and actually that behavior has really deterred some people from advocating for flat Earth because they know that the Globers will do this, and as flat Earth gets bigger, we're going to see this happening internally as well. And what is the community going to do? Like, I don't want to speak on behalf of you, Witsit, but there may be a day where you literally feel like you like just can't even talk to like random people on Discord anymore because some people just genuinely can't handle parasocial stuff, and it may become like a security issue. And it's all fun and games until it's your real life and people like, you know, as
Yeah, and
what
that's what
gets
I'm
bigger, like
saying. Like
who
these people,
knows what will happen? Like who knows what will happen? You know, like
yeah, these people don't even have to like it's like totally probably out of their mind the security aspect of it. And it's a very real thing. It's a very real thing.
I
And
doubt
what we did,
Rusted
it's called
Soul's
a
gonna
mod,
attack
and
you.
it's not the
yeah,
point
but
though.
she's
It's
just
not the
one
point.
of
There's
those
some
people.
person that's watching those insane videos, right? It's like, and who knows? I don't know anything about that person. Someone swears up and down, you know, Bob faked his death, and I looked at him dead, bro. I don't know what that person's gonna do. You know,
Well,
like
yeah,
if it's actually parasocial, it is notoriously ends badly. And what you did was called the Mott and Bailey fallacy, which is like where you cover up just outlandish, absurd, extreme positions with like a much more reasonable, much more agreeable position when challenged on it. Right. So it's like, oh well, someone could technically say just even questioning the trip was slander. So I mean, you know, therefore it's totally reasonable to just make outright slanderous claims and like it's like you covered up the actual behavior we're talking about, the very
Well,
extreme,
no.
ridiculous behavior
If
by deflecting over to a more reasonable, just genuine questioning of the trip itself, which is not the same thing, right? I mean,
well, if you say that it's fake, you're basically saying that you're like an agent. And for some reason, yeah, it doesn't rub people the wrong way as much, but it's basically the same thing as, or maybe even worse than other slanderous claims.
nobody's talking about
well, it
that
rubs
right
me the wrong
now.
way.
Nobody's talking about, I'm talking about people who have a parasocial relationship and cannot handle interacting with people on the internet. I'm not talking about
I love interacting.
anti-truthers.
But do you not agree that parasocial is a thing? Like because like how much did you pay for your? And I'm trying to keep it not too specific, I guess, right? But it's like I mean I wasn't shown that same courtesy by this person, right? In fact, the exact opposite has been done. But it's like how much did you pay for your RV? Where did you buy it? Da-da-da-da. Like digging in with questions that are like what an agent would do and like someone that's dangerous would do. Like this is how I've had to look at Mattoon, so I just outright stopped interacting with Mattoon at all. And that's because, like, literally, bro, my wife would come up to me and be like, dude, Mattoon legitimately freaks me out. And it's like, yeah, yeah. And like being with him in person, even more so, because it's like apparent that actually this person like likes me and just wants to really be my friend. And this whole online thing is like a facade and like a character. And you can see that that's like creepy, right? You're dealing with some type of deep, emotional, yet frankly delusional position that is volatile. And so that is,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, it's weird and it's real. And I think about how patient I was like, bro, you know, I don't, I'm rookie is like, you don't have to defend yourself and you spend too much time doing it. Well, really, I've kind of stepped away, right? Like, I've stepped away
Well,
and it's like, think about how long I sat here. I'm like extremely transparent. I sit here and answer all these questions about everything. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't know what world people think that they're entitled to it, but it's like more so just really think about how insane it is that I even do it. Most people would just not. And instead of it like somehow
Yeah.
giving credibility, it's never enough. It's just like, oh, we're just gonna keep going. And if I'm ever eventually just like, okay, that's enough. See, he's running. It's like it doesn't even help. It makes it worse in this weird way where I should, you know, I could just do what everyone else
Yeah.
does, which is just ignore you guys.
Well, because I think when people actually suffer with that, the more is worse for them. Like imagine somebody has like a parasocial relationship with like Taylor Swift, right? And the more that she would interact with that person, like the worse it would be for their parasocial relationship. And that's the same with stalkers. And maybe the flat earth community is getting bigger now and there's new people. And so people haven't really had to like think about this and like take this seriously. And I don't want to tell people what to do on their servers or anything. Like I'm just giving my opinion, but maybe like as the movement grows, because it will grow, like people may have to have a new process of how they deal with people suffering with this. Like, you know, they
it
like I
seems
don't
like
know
they're
how
more
it will
on the
go, but
Glober side. These people like McToon, and seems like
oh
the
no, it's here
Globers have that
too.
That's
obsession.
for sure.
No, Blob. It's here too.
What,
It's your
Rusted
too.
Well,
Soul?
I agree
I
with
know it's
Ty.
not just
I've
her; it's
seen
other
it. I've
people.
seen it. Yeah, I had this. This was interesting tonight. But yeah, Kai, I agree. It's really been kind of interesting to see different people's claims, and they almost like have, not to get too into it, but that they don't trust Witsit because they feel like they didn't take his advice one time or didn't get back to a DM, right? Like it's very interesting and blah. Yeah, it's on both sides for sure, but it's definitely on the FE side too.
I don't really see it with the FE people too much. Maybe Rusted a little bit.
Well, I mean, even you did it. You were like, I sent you stuff, and then in your mind, it's like this assumption that I should have automatic. I didn't see it. Like, I'll just tell you right now, bro. I've never seen your DMs that you're talking about, and it's not like I'm
It
too
wasn't.
good or whatever. It's like, dude, just go look at my DMs. I have 100 message requests, bro. Like
I put it
it's
in
not
the
even
live stream.
physically
I
possible.
didn't
Oh,
DM it
that's
to you.
what's that's well, that's not the point though. The point is though, when you said I sent it to you, okay? So when people send something to you or whatever from their end, they're like, okay, I took the time, there you go. But they don't think about the other end, which is like literally hundreds of people do that same thing. It's just like when someone will be in the comments like, Austin's been running from a debate from me for 5 years. It's like, I don't know who you are, bro. So it's like this super weird dynamic where it's like just unhealthy. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not even like quote unquote famous. I'm just some dude that has a
Yeah.
few thousand subs. It's like imagine like how unhealthy this would be if Flat Earth really does blow up. Like people need to kind of get a grip, I think is
Well, and no offense, Blah, but I have to say this because I heard this in your presentation earlier, and you have poor discernment. You literally made the argument that because he made a comment about maggots and meat, this somehow traces back to why you don't believe in TFE. Like, I'm sorry, that was just a really poor argument and terrible discernment, and you need to be called out for it. And I don't want to engage with you in a conversation, but I just had to call you out on that. So I don't really care about your opinion. It's clearly obvious that the truther community is suffering from it, and you're white knighting for those people. And that's all I have to say. Bye, guys. It was fun chatting.
Well, that's not my claim though. So when you said that, I just assumed you were talking about the guy that I sent the videos of.
Keep going.
I never talked about that.
Yeah,
So
but you
I don't
did
know if
kind of
you're like
say what
lying or.
you said that well, no, what you did say, right, was that you thought everyone involved was sketchy except for
Mhm.
supposedly Witsit is what people say, but because I also find him sketchy because of this, then therefore
Yeah,
TFE
the
is like
33
not legit.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, but dude, why are you scared of numbers? Yeah, I'm gonna give you some more ammo here. Like, in my real personal life, if I see like triple threes or triple sevens, like sometimes I'm like, okay, that's a sign. That's maybe showing me like the right way to make a decision. In what world have you given some other group of people that play dress up in the dark and think they have some secrets so much power over the way that you view the world that you're fearful of numbers? Like,
No, they just
I do
control the
know, no, wait,
police and the
I
law, and
do
they
know,
control
I
everything.
know that, yeah, but they don't control numbers, okay? Like, they use them, and of course, I agree with you
Yeah.
that they throw threes out there as like this, that to pay homage to the group and to signal different things and different psyops and stuff. That doesn't. It is completely faulty logic to think that therefore every time there's multiple threes together, that's what that is.
Well, it's
You
just
can see
two
that if
threes.
you have something that's like $1,000 and you split it into three, like 33%, right, is 1/3. So it's like it does go off the deep end. It turns into like even colors. It's like, oh man, Austin wears some orange Jordans. Yeah, you know why? Because they were at the Nike outlet and they were on sale for $20. There's no gigantic conspiracy theory. Like it's just
Okay.
they were cheap.
So the reptilian themed like toxic supplements being 33% off means nothing.
Wait, why
Right?
are they toxic? The supplements are toxic now?
Yeah, they've always been. I